aftershocks are possible. In fact, just getting reports of one, a 2.0 in Bedminster, New Jersey.
We don't have reports of damaged buildings at this time. It is very early in the assessment process. But, if there is an after effect, please stay away from buildings, that, especially our high rises.
Bridges and tunnels also being checked. Amtrak inspecting tracks and imposing temporary speed restrictions. The Philadelphia area Patco line suspending service for a time as a precaution. But the biggest impact so far seems to be the surprise. Lexi from Iowa is in New York City for a bachelorette party.
We were ready for everything. Personally, I'm not scared of anything, but now I'm kind of scared of earthquakes.
Fox Weather meteorologist Jane Menard.
This is the strongest earthquake that has been felt in 139 years in and around the New York City metro. You have to go back to the 1880s, 1884 to be exact, where it was a magnitude 5.2 earthquake that struck the area. Preliminary strongest in 240 years for New Jersey. So safe to say no one has ever felt this in their lifetime in and around this area. Of course, New Jersey, the most densely populated state in the country, and it jolted everybody about mid-morning.
The White House monitoring this. President Biden speaking with New Jersey's governor as the administration offers any federal assistance needed. President Biden is heading to Baltimore.
The president will get an aerial tour of the cranes removing debris where the Francis Scott Key Bridge once stood. His first visit to the site since last week's barge collision and bridge collapse.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. He'll also meet with state and local officials and family members of the 6 construction workers killed. America is listening to Fox News.
Waiting on a tax return? Hopefully it ends up in your hands. Fraudulent tax returns due to identity theft increased by 30% in 2023. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. Our U.S.-based restoration specialists are experts dedicated to helping solve your identity theft issues. And all LifeLock plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package. So we'll reimburse you up to the limits of your plan if you lose money due to identity theft. Help protect your information this tax season with LifeLock. Save up to 25% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com.
Are you over 30 and putting off life insurance? It's time to get a quick quote from Ethos. A better, easier way to get term life insurance. All online with no medical exam. Answer a few health questions and you could be approved for up to $2 million. Isn't it worth 10 minutes to help protect your family's financial security? Ethos. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Certainly nice to see added sunshine on this Friday afternoon, but temperatures are still below average, 58. Partly to mostly clear skies tonight. Take it down to the freezing point, 32. The weekend, Saturday, sunny skies, cold start, but better Saturday afternoon. Nice Saturday afternoon, 62. Showers late Saturday night and Sunday, clouds, scattered showers, and a warm 72. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's corporate cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now, get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/free. Ramp.com/free. RAMP.com/free.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
You know, most people never get to sit down with elected officials and ask them about the important issues. I'm Judge Mike Carter, and that's exactly why I host the news talk program Justice and Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter. My goal is to bring those who represent us closer to the people they serve. I ask the questions you would in a no-nonsense manner. That's why we've been able to interview so many top local, state, and federal officials, because as a judge, I offer an unbiased, one-on-one conversation that's that's hard to find elsewhere these days. Besides serving as judge, I have a journalism degree, which is how the name of the show, Justice and Journalism, with me, Judge Mike Carter, evolved. You never know who we'll interview next, from Governor Parson to prosecutors, sports figures to Missouri business leaders. Justice and Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter, airs on Fox and ABC. You can also watch our past shows at MikeCarter.com, where we ask the questions and let you be the judge.
If you'd like to see more of Judge Mike Carter's interviews on his program, Justice and Journalism, visit MikeCarter.com. That's MikeCarter.com.
Tired of those pesky moments when you're streaming your favorite shows? Well, say hello to i3 Broadband's 100% fiber optic network with parental controls. You can manage your kids' screen time, filter content, and keep an eye on their online adventures. All with no annual contracts or hidden fees. Just insanely fast internet and a no-risk 30-day money-back guarantee. Call 877-976-0711 or log on to i3broadband.com/STL. We're local, reliable, and proud to serve St. Louis.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Just got a bit weirder here in the Northeast. We can now report, according to the USGS, the Geological Survey here in the United States, that there's been an earthquake here in the Northeast. The preliminary indication is 4.8 magnitude. That's what we're reading right now. And the center point is a place in New Jersey called Lebanon, New Jersey, which is about 50 miles due west of New York City.
So Bill Helmer this morning, along with Dana Perino on America's Newsroom, just going about their business, and all of a sudden an earthquake happens. And they've been covering it on Fox News all morning since that happened, obviously. I find it interesting. This is, from what they're saying, the strongest earthquake in like 130 years in New York. So if you're alive right now, you've never felt an earthquake like in that area. You've never felt an earthquake like this. And I had to put up Joey Jones's tweet right here. When a city with 7 million people gets a relatively uneventful, mild earthquake, all 330 million Americans have to hear about it all day long. And that's Joey Jones, who's on Fox News with some regularity. I feel like I see you, Joey. Like, I get it. When I was listening to Fox this morning when this event ended up happening, and Fox News, you couldn't see because this happened in New Jersey, and it emanated throughout Manhattan and all around. A 4.8 earthquake those numbers don't mean anything to me specifically. Thank God I don't have a huge frame of reference for it. I saw Vicky, who is on our YouTube chat, and she popped in here, and she said, I am giggling at the news myself. Being from California, a 4.8 really is no big deal. LOL. So this is the April version of when snow happens in the winter in like northern Alabama, and there's coverage of like everybody just panics. You just stop in your tracks where you are and you go about your day. If you're everywhere else, I mean, the people in Wisconsin and Montana and everything are like, what? We have feet of snow and nothing stops. You get a little snowflake in the South and everything stops. The New Yorkers aren't accustomed to this, and it shows. And I would not be accustomed to this if this happened here. And we live on a major fault line right here. And if something like that happened, I would be, no pun intended, a bit shook up. Do you ever remember do you ever remember feeling an earthquake?
Yeah, Thursday.
You felt that one.
Yes, I walked in the house, and what'd you say? It was in Germantown or whatever?
Yeah, I think that was the
So I
center of it.
walked into the house, and I was talking to my wife, and it sounded like something fell on the back deck, and it shook and rattled some of the plates and the stuff in our cabinets and stuff right there in our kitchen.
When was this?
I think it was Thursday.
Thursday? I remember hearing about it, but I was not in a position to. I don't
Yeah,
remember what I was doing.
it was
Thursday.
the day before that one hit Taiwan.
Yeah.
And so there was that one, but the big one I remember was I was driving a school bus and dropping some band kids off to fly to California here at the airport, and it was like 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I got a story about that one.
And I remember driving the bus and thinking, it just kind of was like bang, 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 bang. And I was like, boy, that was really rough on that road right there.
What happened there?
Yeah, my bus didn't have a radio in it, but the guy who was driving the bus in front of me calls me up. He's like, hey, they just said on the radio we had an earthquake.
That was super early.
Yes.
Was it like 10 years ago?
Something like that.
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell a story on my mom. I remember feeling that. Well, let's see. It would have been, it was when I lived in Hamel, Illinois, and we moved in 2015. So I think it would have been prior to Labor Day 2015. And I remember waking up. We were we were sleeping in bed, and it was enough to shake the room enough to wake me up, and like, whoa, that was an earthquake. And I think the story goes, I hope I don't get this wrong, but it like woke my mom up, and I think she was in mid-dream. My mom is a master gardener, and actually I think she might not be listening right now. I think she's got my daughter at the dentist, so I can tell this story freely. She woke up half awake, and they live on a farm, they live outside, and she thought that there were raccoons in her room shaking the floor. It's like, the raccoons! They're in the house! It's like, no, this is just an earthquake, which is a more plausible explanation than raccoons in your home. I think, at least as far as I know, in the home that I grew up in. So if you didn't hear, there was an earthquake in New York. It was a 4.8. I'm not going to spend the rest of the day talking about it. But if you want to know exactly what's happening in this moment from every New Yorker, you can turn on the news. They will tell you. It'll be like, here's Jean. She's lived in New York her whole life. And she's like, I've never heard anything about this or never felt anything like this. And Brad, you were laughing. They're like, yeah, I think it knocked a limb out of the tree over there.
But they had storms also, so they weren't sure if it was the storms.
It could not have been the year.
Well,
good.
The one guy on the interview was like, I felt like the pavement was going to swallow me up, so it was really unsettling. I'm like, at a 4.8?
Well, I'm telling you what, if that happens to me, I'm going to freak out. I'm going to be irrational for a minute, and then I'm going to be like, wow, I don't really want to experience that again. And I certainly hope that there's nothing that hits afterwards. The tremors that usually come post initial earthquake seem to dissipate over time, but you could still feel tremors for the next 24, 36 hours or so, they said. So I have no problem with the way that they're reacting to it. It's just the fact that in New York, since it's happening in New York and New Jersey, the whole country will have to know about it. If it happened here, we would be reacting the same way, but no one would care.
Yeah.
And that's just the difference. I'm living in flyover country, and we're used to that. You have any major earthquake stories, Ryan?
Well, I remember the one you're talking about.
The raccoon one?
I was trying, the raccoon one. I was trying to bring it back to timeline. I would say that would have been around 2010, but I don't know exactly.
It's possible.
And I remember it was the one random night, because we didn't have kids yet, that my wife was not staying in our house. She was at a camp retreat or something random. So I was alone in the house. And I thought for sure, similar to raccoons, that my dog had gotten on the bed and was scratching and was hitting the bed real hard because it was shaking. And I thought, that darn dog, I got to get that dog off this bed. And I woke up and there was no dog on the bed. And I was really freaked out because I thought I knew exactly what it was. And then once I found out it was an earthquake, it was even more scary.
Vicki says 2 quakes, 4.8 and 4.9 in the area I lived in California last night.
Whoa.
Do we just not talk? I mean, I hate what's the right way to say this for the air? The measuring contest of snowfall that takes place when it snows. Or another thing, you call off school because it's going to be -3 degrees or a -20 wind chill, and there's like a whole slew. You might be one of these people, and if you are, I'm talking directly to you. I don't care what happened in your day. From your day to today, we have become an enormously litigious society where people get sued for doing things like leaving small children at the corner bus stop in frigid temperatures. And if it means that the kids get a day off, give them the day off. That is, to me, not the softness of society. And then now we have snow days. And Brad, I think you and I disagree on this every time we talk about this. I am for e-learning days on snow days because I know you're not. That's why I just said you disagree with me. I am for it because I would rather, and my kids would rather, and my husband as a teacher would rather start summer on time. And I want those days off in May that don't get eaten up by snow days in the middle of it. And I'm just going to be honest. Your e-learning days are still really easy days for kids when they're at home. I know this for a fact. If you're e-learning, you have to get on a computer, check in, fill out a 5-question worksheet. Class is done. Count it. Put it on the board. Get out of school in mid-May. To me, it's all about investing in how soon can I start my summer. And if I still get to stay home and I still get to attend class in some regard in my pajamas from my house, I would still want that as a student. And as a mom who likes to plan things for summer, I still want summer to start on time. I don't want that to be up in the air. And I don't think kids go out and play in the snow now anyway.
Yeah, they're kind of lame.
And on top of all of that, when there's a snow day around here, there usually isn't snow.
They call the snow day before the snow happens, and then it doesn't.
Or it's cold.
Yeah.
That's your November snow days. When they're going, oh, man, we're into snow season now. There could be snow or ice coming tomorrow. Let's go ahead and call it off.
Let's be safe.
And by the time you get to February, March, they're like, no, we're going.
Yeah, we used all those up already.
Yeah, exactly.
Doug says, nah, Annie, my special needs child learns nothing from e-learning. Doug, I understand that, and I respect that, and I'm also out loud going to say, neither do the other students. It's just a way to not have to give up a day. It's not really for the educational purposes. It's just one less day of watching a movie or something in class towards the end of the year, because they're just trying to get things done when the season is extended. We're going to speak with Tom Shillue here in about 10 minutes. Excited to have him on the show. He's a comedian, of course. He's a panelist on Gutfeld. I think he's a writer for Gutfeld as well. He's host of How to Be Tom Shillue, which he should be an expert at. And we'll talk to him about that in about 10 minutes. He does the funniest Joe Biden on Gutfeld show.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to ask him, how does one get in? Do you use a filter? I think he does. What kind of, the Fox News makeup crew is top notch. Do you use a filter? Or are you spending loads of time in the makeup chair getting ready to present yourself as Joe Biden? And I'm going to ask him his perspective on Joe Biden from the first time that he played him. And I don't know if he's been doing it the entirety of Joe Biden's presidency, but from the first time he played Joe Biden till now, because he would be studying him, I would assume, as somebody who's impersonating him on a regular basis. I'm going to ask him to kind of walk us through how he prepares for that and what he has picked up on watching maybe some of the cues that Joe Biden delivers. He probably watches it a little closer than we do. And he's going to be at the St. Louis Funny Bone, Streets of St. Charles, at the end of April, 26th and 27th. They have shows in the evening. You should go check them out. You can go to tomshillue.com or stlfunnybone.com and go see Tom Shillue. I got to check my calendar. Maybe I'll go to one of those shows as well. But I can't get through the show without playing this clip, especially for Shillue coming up next.
I think every Greek American in Delaware voted for me because they... No. By the way, as some of the Delawareans will tell you, that's where I acquired a nickname I'm very proud of. I am Joe Bidenopoulos.
Is that racist? Feels like that should be racist. I don't know how he says every Greek person in Delaware voted for him, and they therefore named him Bidenopoulos. This man's accomplishments are beyond measure. The ability for this man to be everything to everyone only when he's in front of them and nothing to anyone when he's not, when he's in the Oval Office, is really something to behold. And I know you all might be thinking to yourself, yeah, but what does The Rock think about Joe Biden?
Are you happy that you made that endorsement in 2020? Are you happy with the state of America?
Am I happy with the state of America right now? Well, that answer is no. Do I believe we're going to get better? I believe in that. I'm an optimistic guy, and I believe we can get better. The endorsement that I made years ago with Biden was one I thought was the best decision for me at that time. And I thought back then, when we talk about, hey, I'm in this position where I have some influence, and it's my job then. I felt like that then. It's my job now to exercise my influence and share with this is who I'm going to endorse. Am I going to do that again this year? That answer is no.
What can I say except you're welcome?
Yeah, thanks a lot. 4 years to The Rock. You could have run for president and thrown the whole thing in a tailspin and gotten 4% of the vote or something like that. You think, like, what could The Rock just show up and get right now?
I think 4% is a pretty good estimate, but I bet you he could get a solid 5 or 6.
It's at least 4. I think more people would vote for him than The Rock, than RFK Jr.
Yeah, I give him a solid 20.
You think he get 20?
I mean, maybe.
Wow.
I don't know. I mean, he's so well known.
This is true.
That anybody who's maybe not going to vote might show up to vote for him.
They vote for Democrats. The people who don't vote.
Oh, yeah.
They already vote for Democrats.
That's true.
That's the Biden contingency. See?
Thank you.
Maybe pull some more.
Thank you.
Yeah. I love how he says, am I going to endorse Biden again this year? The answer is no. Yeah, no sugar. Absolutely. All right, let's take a quick break. John, we're going to speak to Tom Shillue when we come back. You know him on Gutfeld and Fox News, of course, host of How to Be Tom Shillue. And he's coming to the streets of St. Charles, the St. Louis Funny Bone. Go get your tickets right now in the break, stlfunnybone.com or tomshillue.com on the Annie Fry Show. He's going to tell us about studying Joe Biden when we come back and what he thinks of the president currently. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Brenda's trading smokes for cake, still hadn't lost that baby weight, and that baby's about to graduate from college. I just flick an ash into the tray, tell them both it'll be okay, but I'm just blowing smoke.
The Retirement Advisory Group, online at retirementkey.com. Have you called and scheduled your free appointment? It doesn't cost you anything, and it could save you quite a bit. That's them calling right now for the Retirement Advisory Group. You think I'd turn off my phone by now? 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. Reach out to the Retirement Advisory Group and talk to them about how they can help you plan your structured, personalized income plan. Everything that you have done right now to save for your retirement, you need to make sure you make the proper adjustments to shift into your retirement. When you call them at 314-993-9494, 314-993-9494, they will talk to you about your personal situation. They will help you understand the maneuvers that you need to make to protect yourself and to have a worry-free retirement. And it is just a phone call away. Set up the appointment, no obligation afterwards. Just listen to what they have to say. 314-993-9494, retirementkey.com.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. Come see our waterfront in Wild Horse Village in the new downtown Chesterfield. You have to see it to believe it, and then you will understand why it is the fastest-selling luxury community in all of St. Louis. Our unique modern designs are like nothing St. Louis has seen. Only a handful of home sites remain. Experience the ultimate lifestyle at the waterfront. Visit McKelveyHomes.com today. Hurry before you miss this opportunity.
At Odyssey, we help protect this planet we all share through our One Thing sustainability initiatives. We donate $1 million of media every year to local environmental nonprofit organizations. And this month, our Odyssey teams will be out in our local communities cleaning up, planting trees, and more. When we each do one thing, it becomes 100, 1,000, a million things for our planet. What's your one thing? For more, download the free Odyssey app or go to odyssey.com/onething.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-254-4574. 800-254-4574. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-254-4574 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-254-4574 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-254-4574.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Keep the air you're paying to heat where it should be with 15% off attic insulation. For a free estimate on attic insulation, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Shows that make a difference. Mark Cox, Brian Kilmeade, Annie Fry, Mark Reardon and Dana Lesh, Heidi Harris, Wiggins America. Where St. Louis comes to talk. 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Fry Show.
Thank you all so very, very much. Thanks, everybody. And by the way, say hello to oyster bunnies. Come on up, bunnies. Get up here so they can see you. Come on, get in there.
Of all of the things that this man who runs the free world has said, the oyster bunnies are probably my favorite thing. Let's get to our next guest now. I'm excited to welcome Tom Shillue back onto the Annie Fry Show. He's a comedian, a panelist on Gutfeld, of course, host of How to Be Tom Shillue. And you can see his show that's coming to the Funny Bone, Streets of St. Charles, April 26th and 27th. Just go to stlfunnybone.com. Tom, welcome back. It's good to have you here.
Thanks. That, you know, when you were talking about my impression before I came on the air, you said that when I started, you know, it's probably changed over time. And of course it has, because it was funny. When I began, there was something about Joe Biden. There was a little bit of protection around him because people said, oh, you can't make fun of his stutter because he was born with a stutter. So I had to be really nice to him. But you know, in the ensuing years, things have gotten so ridiculous that you can't be too over the top with Joe, because he's always going to say something more ridiculous than me. So I have to, you know, I don't know where I'm going to go with that when I'm talking about, you know, oysters. I mean, what's he talking about?
I don't know. I just, you know what it's like to be in a television visual environment, and then we live here noon to 3 Central in a radio audio environment. And it is really wild to see Joe Biden on a clip, maybe catch a show on Fox the evening before just to brush up on what happened throughout the day, or maybe in the morning. You see the clip, and then I hear it separately on the radio without seeing it. And it's amazing how much more degraded, I guess it sounds, when you're just listening to the president of the United States speak. I do feel bad for the guy, but he's also in a position where he is supposed to represent me in this republic of a government. So he can't be off limits. It's not possible for him to be off limits.
No, the gloves are basically off. But the thing is, when I did start doing that, this was when Greg was on his weekend show. So it was several years ago. And I started doing Joe Biden. Really, I came up with the idea to do Joe Biden because I was doing Adam Schiff on his show.
Yeah. Oh, man. No, wait. Whoa. That is the creepiest thing. I know. I have this in my nightmares. The Tom Shillue Adam Schiff is the only thing that is creepier than Adam Schiff. And it's amazing.
Well, it was getting to the point of where because he was having these hearings and he was ever present in the news, I was having to do him every day. And I have to use my wife's rouge because I rouge the cheeks up,
Yeah.
And I was sick of putting on the makeup. And I said, I got to do something to get out of this Adam Schiff. So I asked Greg if I could do a Joe Biden, and he said yes. And the answer to your question, very few people ask me this because they say, who does your makeup? But you nailed it. I do use a filter. I'm going to keep it secret.
Good.
I won't tell you who does my filter, but it's an amazing filter, isn't it?
It is. And it's always, I think you've really played your cards right here, because when you're not Joe Biden, you look so youthful and vibrant. And so it really, you've elevated Tom Shillue by impersonating Joe Biden. Smart move.
Yeah. Somebody just said to me today, I was going to get coffee, and they said, hey, you look younger in person. I said, I better.
Yeah, no kidding. The camera must add, 30, 40 years as well, it seems. We're speaking with Tom Shillue. He's coming to the St. Louis Funny Bone Streets of St. Charles, April 26th and 27th. If you have never, there are people listening to the show that haven't gone to the Funny Bone before because you don't think it's your thing. This is your thing. Go to stlfunnybone.com or tomshillue.com and take in a show and laugh and enjoy an afternoon, an evening, I should say, of fun. How do you marry comedy, stand-up comedy, being there it's a pretty intimate setting when you're at the Funny Bone, with what's going on in the world? Do you bring a lot of that into your set?
Yeah, right now I wrote a show recently. After my parents passed away, I went through all of their stuff. My dad passed away in 2019, and then my mom in 2022. And me and my siblings went through all of their stuff, and it was amazing, this treasure trove of information about my family. I'm used to talking about my family in my act anyway, so what I did was I put a whole show together about my family, and I put slides. We have pictures of my family. We have, slides of my mom's artwork and my dad's writing and all different stuff. So it's a whole family show that I put together. So because it's kind of a self-contained show, there's no politics in it.
Okay.
It's just a show about family. But what I do then is after the show, I have basically, there's no curtain because I'm in a comedy club, but this is a very theater type show. At the end of the show, the lights go down, the music's played, and then I bring the lights up and we do some Sleepy Joe videos. We take questions about Gutfeld, and then we talk about what it's like to work on Fox News. So it's definitely a two-part show when people come to see me.
Well, we have Tyrus has been on my show since I think 2018. Every Thursday, we've been able to maintain a relationship with him. He came to town and did his first stand-up show in Edwardsville, which is my hometown, right across the river in Illinois. Jamie Lisso's been in here several times, Joe DeVito. We've had you come through St. Louis as well. There is such a passion for what Gutfeld as a show is doing right now in this environment. And I think that at least for the show that people get to consume every night, I have people tell me all the time, like, the show I don't miss is Gutfeld. And there's something about the way you can address the news, talk about what's going on, but do it in what I feel like is an actual conversational, like, this is the type of discussion that happens in real life. It's different than just consuming the news. And I feel like what you guys have been able to do with the show on Gutfeld is grow that and expand it. People haven't seemed to gotten tired of that presentation at all.
You know what's great about it, too, is that a lot of people ask about the script nature of the show. There is no script at all. They send out the stories. At the halfway point of the day, you get an email with the stories that we're going to be covering. And that's all you get. They tell you to read the stories. We call it like the A block, B block, C block, D block. And so there's 5 blocks, and we read the stories, and then you're just told to come and be ready to talk. And Greg likes it that way. He's very improvisational. You can tell. I mean, I perform live with Greg, and it's amazing. It's almost frustrating because with comedians, we settle on a punchline, and we say it over and over every night,
Yeah.
Sometimes Greg will get a big laugh at one of our live shows. And then the next show we do, he doesn't do the line. I say, Greg, what about that line you said about, Nancy Pelosi? He said, oh, I forgot that. I said, Greg, you got to save your line.
Got to teach him some of the ways. How big is the staff that goes into Gutfeld? Because, I think we hear a lot about when there's big layoffs, mass layoffs at CNN or whatever, the amount of people that are involved in any given show. It can be a pretty massive enterprise. And when, you need to cut rope and you need to let go of some people to save some money if maybe the ratings aren't there or whatever it is, it's a lot of people. Do you guys have a pretty big operation around Gutfeld?
No, it's tiny. You basically have Greg. Greg's the head writer of the show, and he writes his monologue every day, that A block where he's kind of comes out and does this big tour de force. That's Greg writes it, and then, of course, the writing staff throws in, and they kind of punch it up. So they take a red marker, and they'll throw in some jokes. But it's mostly Greg doing that A block. But then they split up the writing duties. Kat does writing, Tyrus does writing, and then you have some of the regulars like Joe DeVito and Joe Mackey. They're also writing. But other than that, there's only about 5 other people on the show.
Wow.
Gene, the guy you see, he's the young guy who Greg makes dress. He dresses him up in leather vests sometimes. Doesn't bring up.
Like Greg dresses him up.
Yes. Gene, he writes on the show, and he also does warm up for the show. So it's a tiny family, and I'm telling you, the ratings for the show, as you know, the ratings are huge, and I actually think that they're higher than they are in the Nielsen ratings because I've been working in comedy my whole life. I used to do Comedy Central. I worked on The Daily Show with Jon Stewart. I've done Colbert, and then I worked on The Tonight Show for years, and I've never had that kind of audience response. When I go on the road now and I sell out 4 or 5 shows in a city, it's amazing. I've never had that. I mean, in my best days on Comedy Central, and like I said, so the ratings are very high, but I think they're even higher.
Yeah.
And we do it with a staff over there at Gutfeld of really, I say like 5. It's like 5 people plus the people you know. So it's a tiny staff. And these other late night shows, they have 30 or 40 people who just write jokes for the show. And then from there, there's another 40 or 50 people who are, PAs and everything else. So it's an amazingly skeletal staff, and we get a lot out of them.
Yeah, definitely quality over quantity. And I think it really shows as a viewer myself. I'm curious if you or if the show experiences are there people? I think I remember Rush Limbaugh used to talk about how everywhere he go, people would whisper like, "I never miss a show." But no, he would be like, "Why don't you say that out loud to your massive amount of following?" I wonder how much Fox News gets that, but specifically the Gutfeld show that is competing against a less traditional cable news base of alternatives for people to view. Do you get people who do the whisper thing to you, like, "I don't miss a show"?
Absolutely. In the mainstream, because I have my foot in the world of entertainment as well, because that's really where I came from. Started doing stand-up and then did a lot of acting in commercials and things like that. So, there are, guys like Michael Loftus and myself, we kind of work in both of those worlds. So we see it. So sometimes we'll show up to do, Michael Loftus and I recently did some voiceovers for animation. We get into the studio, and the people doing the recording kind of would whisper to us, "Hey, I like watching you on Gutfeld." So in the world of showbiz, it's people will whisper it. For instance, I work a lot on The Tonight Show, and I love it over there. Jimmy Fallon's a great guy, and some of your listeners might know the Ragtime Gals. I sing in a barbershop quartet with Jimmy, and so I'm over there, a lot over the past 10 years. And some of the musical artists, for instance, like we sang with the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
Now, not all of them, but I'll tell you, 2 secret Backstreet Boys watch Gutfeld every night.
Oh, man. You've now made it my life mission to meet you and have you tell me who those people are. I don't know how I'm going to get it out of you. I need you to be in the mentality of Joe Biden, and I'm going to trick you into telling me. I'm a Backstreet Boys girl, over in sync. Yes. You can tell him I said that.
And believe it, one of the members of Weezer watches Gutfeld.
That's great.
Wow.
I'm excited to hear this. Okay, last question for you. We're speaking with Tom Shillue, who's going to be in St. Louis at the St. Louis Funny Bone Streets of St. Charles, April 26th to 27th. Go get your tickets you can go to stlfunnybone.com or make sure you check out tomshillue.com. That contingent of people, the ratings that you're talking about with Gutfeld, the ratings that maybe don't even appear on Nielsen, the whispers, I watch your show. Do you think that translates at all into where this country might be in November? Any correlation?
Yeah, I do. And, it's where it was in 2016 as well, because everyone was surprised that they were kind of laughing. They weren't taking Trump seriously at all. But then there are people out there. I knew that what Trump was going to do because you talk to the blue collar guys, and they were. I said this the other day on Fox. In 2016, the cab drivers, the plumbers, the electricians, they were saying, you know what? Hey, I'm going to give this guy a shot. Hey, this guy Trump, I don't know, he's a loudmouth, but I think I'm going to try. I'm going to vote for him. Now, the same people are saying to me, they're not talking about Trump. They're talking about how bad their life is under Biden. Wow. So to me, I think it's going to be even bigger than people expect this time around.
Well, we will be tuned into Fox News, especially Gutfeld in the evening, to continue to watch you usher Joe Biden into the November election. You're the Joe Biden. You're the version that I can handle.
Listen, all the Greeks voted for me. Did I tell you that? And Euripides and Plato and all those guys.
Biden himself on the Annie Fry Show. Who knew? Thank you, Tom. We look forward to hopefully seeing you when you come here in April, and we'll send a lot of Annie Fry Show listeners your way to fill up that comedy club. Good to have you on the show.
I love it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Yep. Tom Shillue, he's a comedian, of course, panelist on Gutfeld, a writer as well, host of How to Be Tom Shillue. Go to tomshillue.com. That's SHILLUE. Pleasure to have him on the show today. A little be or not the be when we come back?
Heck yeah.
All right, let's take a quick break, and we'll get to one of our favorite segments we do on the show. We're going to guess when we come back. Ryan's going to present us headlines, and we're going to tell you, is it the bee or not the bee? We will find out in just a few minutes. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Fry Show.
Jen Teskey, she's the RE/MAX Alliance realtor that you're going to call to sell your home. When you are thinking about it and you're on the fence, you need to talk to Jen Teskey. When you know you need to sell your house right away, you need to talk to Jen Teskey. And if you've tried to sell your home before and it didn't really work, or you weren't able to get out of it what you wanted to, so you had to pull it off, you still need to talk to Jen Teskey with RE/MAX Alliance. 618-541-1010. 618-541-1010. You can call that number. You can text that number. You can visit her online at jenteskeyhomes.com, TESKE. She is incredibly familiar with the Illinois market, especially when it comes to the Edwardsville, Glen Carbon, Maryville, Troy, Collinsville area. If you're looking to list or if you're looking to buy there, you want Jen Teskey on your side. She's a great team working around her that's going to position your home perfectly to sell. She's going to be honest with you. She's going to help you edit your home in a way that presents it to the masses and makes it seem like it might be more appealing to more people. And when you're in the hands of Jen Teskey and the RE/MAX Alliance team, you are poised for a great experience. Real estate can be very stressful. Let her take the worry out of it for you and guide you through the process. 618-541-1010, online at jenteskeyhomes.com.
Mike Carter here of Carter Law Offices. You know, as an attorney, I make my way across the great state of Missouri on a pretty regular basis. And from the rivers to the lakes and the Ozark Mountains, it's really just a pleasure to travel across the great state of Missouri. And, you know, not to mention, we have the best sports team and the best cities and the friendliest small towns in America, it seems like. And Carter Law Offices wants to make sure Missouri's story gets out far and wide about our excellent business climate, our exceptional workforce. You'll hear more from me soon, Mike Carter.
Visit MikeCarter.com to see Mike's interviews with all of Missouri's elected leaders.
Mike Carter here of Carter Law Offices. You know, as an attorney, I make my way across the great state of Missouri on a pretty regular basis. And from the rivers to the lakes and the Ozark Mountains and the richest farmland around, it's really just a pleasure to travel across the great state of Missouri. And, you know, not to mention, we have the best sports team and the best cities and the friendliest small towns in America, it seems like. And Carter Law Offices wants to make sure Missouri's story gets out far and wide about our excellent business climate, our exceptional workforce. You'll hear more from me soon, Mike Carter.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
payments.
Listen, you've been making house payments for years, right? And right now, your home's value has never been higher, right? That means you're likely sitting on a small fortune in equity. Good for you. That's cash that you could use to help secure your retirement, solve all your financial burdens, enable you to travel, everything you want. The catch is, you're not ready to move. No problem. You don't have to with the TrueHold Sell and Stay Leaseback program. This is a genius financial strategy. You sell your home to TrueHold while its value is high. You bank all that equity in cash now, and you can stay as long as you like with an easy, affordable lease. And TrueHold pays property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. TrueHold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Get a TrueHold offer now while your home's value is sky high. Call 1-855-300-9993. That's 1-855-300-9993. Or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out without moving out. TrueHold.com.
What better way to support your nutrition than with the multivitamin that was created right here in St. Louis? Neovitin Original Multivitamin was created by St. Louis physician Dr. Abicki to support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Now, Neovitin Original Multivitamin is formulated with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Abicki's proprietary blend to give you nutritional support you won't find anywhere else. Neovitin is now conveniently available through our no-obligation monthly subscription. Cancel or pause at any time, and shipping is free. Support your nutrition with a subscription to Neovitin at neovitin.com today.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
Are you a nerd about something? Yes or no? So it's not just, are you a general nerd? Are you a nerd about something in particular? Yes or no? And of course, with this one, we'd like to know what you're a nerd about if you're a yes on this poll. Let us know. It's the Eddie Fry YouTube live chat poll. It is now 12:46. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
It's what's happening
The White House says it wants an investigation into the deaths of 7 aid workers in Gaza.
right now.
Earthquake strikes the island of Taiwan, creating a tsunami.
Keeping you informed
Triple shooting in the city of East Point.
and up to date. St. Louis's home for conservative talk. This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Wiggins.
Oh, Wiggins!
The Bee or Not the Bee.
Thank you very much. This is the Be or Not the Be. That means that
You're
some
welcome.
of the... You're welcome. Yeah, thank you. You're welcome. I can't say it back to you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you for that round of applause.
Yeah,
that hadn't
yeah.
happened yet, but
You're-
it should have.
You're right. I'm doing a great job. This is a bunch of stories
Sounds
that...
like Joe Biden, but coherent. Joe Biden on the mind now.
Every Greek person in this room voted for me.
Mm-hmm.
All of these stories are, well, some of them are real, some of them are not. I'm going to read you a bunch of headlines. You got to tell me whether they are satire from the Bee, the Babylon Bee, or whether they are real. Here's the first one. Judge orders Trump to stop noticing that the people trying to put him in jail are Democrats.
But that's true.
Ooh.
Oh.
But is it something that... Say it again?
Judge orders Trump to stop noticing that the people trying to put him in jail are Democrats.
That's the Bee.
Yeah, I think it's true, but I think it is a B headline.
There's humor in the truth. It is the Bee. Quote, "Quiet you," Judge Merchan told Trump in court. "Stop mentioning that everyone in the legal system who's trying to imprison you just so happens to be a member of the Democrat Party. It is completely irrelevant. All instances of Trump noticing this fact will be met with serious legal consequences, which will be administered by Democrats."
Mm-hmm. But you can't talk about it.
No, he can't.
Yeah.
We haven't been issued that
It's like
gag
Fight
order
Club.
yet. All right, that's the first one. The second one. China offers to send 100,000 soldiers to Taiwan to assist with earthquake cleanup.
Oh, I think that's real.
Yeah, I'll say real.
We totally will. We'll help you out. We got you. We'll help you out.
Oh, I'll just counterpoint and say it's the B.
Excellent counterpoint. You are correct.
It is then.
This is
Okay.
not real. You'll know once I read the article. Quote, "We are here for you," Chinese President Xi Jinping said in a statement. "We see that you are in a very weakened and vulnerable state following this unfortunate earthquake and would like to extend an offer to send an search and rescue force."
Close one. Good save.
While Taiwanese authorities had not provided an immediate response to the offer, the Chinese government appeared to be taking the initiative to send help anyway. "No need to respond," she said. "We're already on our way. You will not be able to withstand the force of our earthquake cleanup assistance."
The ECUA.
Yeah. Better if I had pronounced it better.
Yeah.
All right. Number 3. Brazil's president is trying to jail his predecessor who jailed him.
Sounds legit.
Yeah, I'm with Annie on this one. I think this one's legit.
Not the B.
Yeah, not the B.
It is not the B. This is really happening in Brazil. Brazil's president currently, Luis
Hold on a
Inácio.
second, though.
Go ahead.
Say the headline again.
Brazil's president is trying to jail his predecessor who jailed him.
I mean, this could be an American story.
Oh, I didn't even make that connection. It does sound like a lot what's going on right now. Brazil's president,
I don't know if he's serious.
Luis Inácio Lula da Silva, who's just known as Lula, his administration is actively rounding up and imprisoning his predecessor, Jair Bolsonaro. Remember that name?
Yep.
Administration on corrupt charges. Lula is an avowed Marxist, and Bolsonaro was known in the media as the Brazilian Trump. Much like Trump, the lefties of Brazil want to see him locked away or dead. During the election, Bolsonaro only saw 3 options in his future: prison, death, or victory. He is currently hiding in the Hungarian embassy.
That's so ridiculous.
It's amazing, and hopefully, I mean, good thing that stuff doesn't happen here in America. Next one. To regain popularity, MLB to allow 1 player per team to take steroids.
It's got to be the B.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Was this one obvious enough? Yeah. While the sport has maintained its prominent position
It has to be the runner on second.
in American life,
And he
yeah.
has to do the steroids while he's standing on second, eating his complimentary snow cone that they
Yeah.
all get after the game.
And only in extra innings can you take steroids. Fans and owners have wondered if some of the excitement of the steroid era would provide a helpful boost to the game's mainstream popularity. The new rule change, letting each team select 1 player to put on the juice, is designed to do just that. I got to admit, I might pay a little more attention if they were doing that. I don't know. All right, 4D chess. Trump makes Mar-a-Lago worth $500 million by hanging up 3 Hunter Biden paintings.
That's the B.
Yeah,
That is the B. Wouldn't it be amazing if that were real, though? I mean, that really would be 4D chess.
He should actually do it.
Yeah, make it real. Trump held a special unveiling party for supporters at Mar-a-Lago's Donald J. Trump Grand Ballroom. I don't know if that's real or not, but it certainly sounds like it could be. The 3 paintings shown were, quote, some colors. The next one was called Paint on Canvas. And the last one was called Look a Bird.
Yeah, don't look here. Look at that bird.
Here's the quote from Trump, the fake quote. "They tell me I overvalued this place, but if anything, I undervalued it. But now they can't argue with me because I've got Hunter here. Everyone says, where's Hunter? Where is he? Well, he's here, folks. We've got Hunter Biden here at Mar-a-Lago. It's a beautiful thing." They're absolutely fantastic paintings, let me tell you. Definitely not a bunch of random colors thrown on a canvas to launder money. There you go. All right, last couple here before we run out of stories. Stay-at-home mom, or sorry, let me read this again. Stay-at-home homeschool mom faces jail time for overdue library books.
I think it could be
Real.
real.
Yeah, I think this is real.
This is real. Kaylee Morgan, a wife and stay-at-home mother of 5, rented a few books from the Navasota Public Library in March of last year. I think this is in Texas. She said her husband did end up returning all but 1 book because it didn't fit in the library's drop box. What happened next stunned Morgan. When she went to renew her driver's license, she found out that there was a warrant for a $570 ticket based on the overdue books. She says she had to go see a judge, and she tried to explain her situation, and he didn't want to hear her, quote, excuses, and that she needed to take responsibility. This has definitely been stressful. I exclusively breastfeed my daughter, so now I'm having to navigate pumping in case I get arrested, she said, for overdue library books.
Man, breastfeeding is a big pain in the butt. It is so important and so good if you can do it, but like that might sound ridiculous to some people, but when I breastfed 3 of 4 of my children, and it is what you set your entire day by. It is quite something.
I believed in it so much that I tried it myself, and I am not able to. Sorry. The kids were very disappointed. Last one. Old fogies. The looks in the studio right now, you can hear them. Old fogies
look of disgust.
Reminiscing about good old days. Forget we have Doritos Locos Tacos now.
Say that again.
Old fogies reminiscing about good old days. Forget we have Doritos Locos Tacos now.
Oh, this sounds like a trap. This definitely sounds like a B headline.
I'll say B.
I'm going to say it's real.
B.
Well, it is the B, but it is also real, Brad. So it says.
I thought that's something like Salon or something would write.
No. It's the B. They refuse to accept how far society has come, said Professor Blake Rumsey of the Learning Center for Acquiring Knowledge. The development of the Doritos Locos Taco is clear and demonstrative evidence that significant advancements have been made to improve everyone's lives. Not everything was better back in the old days. The entire shell of the taco is a Dorito. Are you kidding me? What more do you want?
Oh, man.
There you go. The B or not the B. You guys did pretty good this week.
That's it?
It.
That's all the stories?
That's
okay.
the last one.
When we come back in the 1 o'clock hour, we're going to find out what we missed from the week. Brian will give us a little precursor here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 clips that we might pick through, so you're going to want to stick around for that. Plus, on the Annie Fry YouTube channel, come say hi and vote if you're a nerd about something. Is there something you really nerd out on? We'll discuss that at 1:25, along with your questions for us in our Ask Us Anything segment to wrap up the 1 o'clock hour. X's and O's at 2 o'clock. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Smell better naked? I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the OBGYN creator of Lumi, the whole body deodorant that's clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours on pits, feet, privates, and beyond. It's pH optimized to safely and effectively control odor anywhere you have it, but wish you didn't. Plus, it's proven to work better than a shower with soap alone. Whether you shower twice a day or 3 times a week, Lumi works better. And who doesn't want zero body odor? With over 200,000 5-star reviews, I'm so sure you're going to love it, or you can return it for free.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 2222 and get 15% off your first purchase with code 2222, like the Lumi Starter Pack, Acidified Body Wash, or new Lumi Plus Sweat Control. That's LUMEdeodorant.com, code 2222 for 15% off your first purchase. Love it or return it for free. That's LUMEdeodorant.com, code 2222 to save 15% today.
Crazy times we're in, especially this year with all the crap we have to listen to during this political season. At least you have a break in your day and you can hear me. All kidding aside, the prices are absolutely, without a question, the worst I've ever seen across the board on everyday products. And now you add in government mandates for air conditioning and furnaces. This is the best time this month to still get good pricing on great, efficient equipment that will save your money by simply replacing your old, inefficient equipment. Plus, 0% for 60 months. No interest. Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. The easiest of numbers, and there's only one. 314-293-2600. Or bartinman.com. MikeCarter.com.
Judge Mike Carter here to talk to you about my news talk program, Justice and Journalism with Judge Mike Carter. People ask, why is a judge a host of a news talk show? As a judge, I'm the neutral party that seeks to learn the truth and bring you the facts. Somewhere along the line, news shows lost that objectivity. Growing up, I can remember watching Walter Cronkite and knowing you could believe he didn't have a hidden agenda. Before I received my law degree and later became an elected judge for the past decade, I earned a master's degree in journalism at Mizzou, the very same journalism school Walter Cronkite attended. I was given a real appreciation for getting to the truth both as a judge and a journalist. Hence the name of my show, Justice and Journalism, with me, Judge Mike Carter. Here I focus on local newsmakers, personalities, and Missouri officials like Governor Parson, Lieutenant Governor Kehoe, Secretary of State Ashcroft, Attorney General Bailey, and many more. Justice and Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter, airs on Fox and ABC. You can also watch our past shows at MikeCarter.com, where we ask the questions and let you be the judge.
If you'd like to see more of Judge Mike Carter's interviews on his program, Justice and Journalism, visit MikeCarter.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
14 states get a shock. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. That's how widely an earthquake was felt earlier today, centered in New Jersey.
The president says he spoke with New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy following a 4.8 magnitude earthquake striking the region.
He thinks everything's under control. He's not too concerned about it. The governor of New Jersey, so things are all right.
The U.S. Geological Survey says the quake was centered near White House Station, New Jersey, about 45 miles from New York City. People from as far away as Baltimore and New Hampshire reported feeling the ground shake, though there are no reports of serious damage or injuries.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. There was a stronger East Coast quake centered in Virginia back in 2011, but this was the strongest in the New York City area in more than a century, more than 2 centuries in New Jersey. President Biden just getting a helicopter tour of the collapsed Key Bridge in Baltimore. Fox's Griff Jenkins is there.
He's being accompanied by Governor Wes Moore, the Army Corps of Engineers, and a Coast Guard admiral as well, as they get a look at the devastation of this bridge, of the collapse, the magnitude of what it's going to take to reopen it.
The president expected to urge Congress to foot the bill to avoid delays in clearing and rebuilding the bridge as a cargo ship's collision with it remains under investigation. For now, the focus remains on salvage efforts to clear the channel and reopen the port. They're also still hoping to recover 4 remaining bodies of the 6 construction workers killed. Divers have been hampered by conditions at the site. A stronger employment report than expected. 303,000 jobs created in March.
Sectors that are seeing the biggest gains, starting with healthcare, leading with 72,000 jobs added. Government right behind, 71,000 jobs added.
Fox Business's Grady Trimble. Leisure and hospitality back to pre-pandemic levels. The unemployment rate inching down to 3.8%. America is listening to Fox News.
Waiting on a tax return? Hopefully it ends up in your hands. Fraudulent tax returns due to identity theft increased by 30% in 2023. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. Our U.S.-based restoration specialists are experts dedicated to helping solve your identity theft issues. And all LifeLock plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package. So we'll reimburse you up to the limits of your plan if you lose money due to identity theft. Help protect your information this tax season with LifeLock. Save up to 25% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Certainly nice to see added sunshine on this Friday afternoon, but temperatures are still below average, 58. Partly to mostly clear skies tonight. Take it down to the freezing point, 32. The weekend, Saturday, sunny skies, cold start, but better Saturday afternoon. Nice Saturday afternoon, 62. Showers late Saturday night and Sunday, clouds, scattered showers, and a warm 72. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Don't miss the Mark Cox Morning Show's Spring Bourbon Fling at Clayton Wine House. Join me and Kim April 18th from 5:30 to 8. We'll sample New Riff, Old Dominic, Oak and Eden, and more. Get your tickets now before they're gone at 971talk.com/events.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-515-5751. 800-515-5751. 800-515-5751.
You know, most people never get to sit down with elected officials and ask them about the important issues. I'm Judge Mike Carter, and that's exactly why I host the news talk program Justice and Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter. My goal is to bring those who represent us closer to the people they serve. I ask the questions you would in a no-nonsense manner. That's why we've been able to interview so many top local, state, and federal officials, because as a judge, I offer an unbiased, one-on-one conversation that's hard to find elsewhere these days. Besides serving as judge, I have a journalism degree, which is how the name of the show, Justice and Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter, evolved. You never know who we'll interview next, from Governor Parson to prosecutors, sports figures to Missouri business leaders. Justice and Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter, airs on Fox and ABC. You can also watch our past shows at MikeCarter.com, where we ask the questions and let you be the judge.
If you'd like to see more of Judge Mike Carter's interviews on his program, Justice and Journalism, visit MikeCarter.com. That's MikeCarter.com.
Experience the beauty of custom-crafted windows that enhance your home's aesthetics and energy efficiency. Look no further than Infinity from Marvin, proudly brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. Why choose Infinity? These windows are not just strong, they're 8 times stronger than vinyl, providing unmatched security for your home. Plus, with Lakeside's expert installation, you're guaranteed precision and perfection. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today. Elevate your home with Infinity from Marvin, where strength meets style.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
You entrusted a nursing home with the care of a loved one, but they violated that trust. If your family member has been the victim of nursing home neglect, call Onder Law at 844-BEDSORE.
The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio. I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show. What did I miss?
What did I miss?
All right, Brad, this is you.
All right. Well, the clip I want to start with is cut number 1, and it's Jill Biden talking to the CBS Morning Show.
Let's listen in.
How is the campaign going before
Oh, my gosh, it's going great. I have been traveling every day that I'm not in the classroom. People are excited, and I really feel like, people know the choice this election. They can choose chaos or they can choose, steady wisdom experience. So
there's not a part of you that's a little
Which is
worried?
which?
No,
Off kilter a little bit.
I feel that Joe will be reelected.
But when these polls, like the Wall Street Journal one, land in the White House and he's losing in all the battleground states.
No, he's not losing in all the battleground states. He's coming up, and he's even or doing better. So you know what? Once people start to focus in and they see their two choices, it's obvious that Joe will win this election.
She says she's spending all that time in a classroom. That's a really weird place to practice medicine.
Doctor.
What do
Man,
you think?
This administration is just flailing. I mean, if these are the people you have to put out as surrogacy, Jill Biden is not the person I would want, like, talking
Operating
about my
on you?
Yeah. Operating on me, talking
Especially
about
in a
my
classroom.
campaign. Yeah, that sort of
Is that
thing.
even sterile?
Yeah.
Hey, it's medical school, all right?
Are those crayons?
It's true. Touche.
But, like, they're like, what does Joe think about the polls that show him down? No, they don't.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
Not those polls are wrong. They
She says they're going up.
Over facts.
She says that no, they're not. She goes, they're coming up. That doesn't mean that he would be
Right.
winning or even. You just say things and say, okay.
Yeah, no, they're
Just
not.
move
He's
on with your
coming
day.
up.
What
Those facts are not mutually exclusive.
I should live like that. Wouldn't that be more peaceful?
I don't
Just
know.
to be like, what do I want to be true? I'll just believe it.
Ryan?
I can tell you a whole lot about that life. And let me tell you something. It's sweet. It's great.
Like diabetes sweet.
Yeah. You don't have to acknowledge that you have diabetes, Annie. You just do whatever you want. You walk into a shop, you say, then that cake looks good. You just stick your face in it. And somebody goes, that's illegal. And you'd say, no, you're illegal.
No, it's not. It's coming up. It's becoming legal.
Yeah. It's on the way to being legal, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's not big.
Everything like when you listen to Corinne Jean-Pierre's briefings, or as Jesse Water calls her, binder. When you listen to her briefings, if she says 100 words in a response to a question, 82 of them are about how they've been clear on this, she'll continue to be clear on this, and then she can't answer the question. You have to talk to the state about that, or the Defense Department about that.
Let me be clear. I will have to refer you to the Biden election department.
I'm really clear on Corinne Jean-Pierre's ability to do her job for the American people.
I am too.
She does a great job for Joe Biden, which is that she just continues to go up to the podium and the microphone in front of the press that actually has started to ask her some questions that deserve answers, and they don't all come from Peter Doocy, but a lot of them do, and he just has a presentation about him that I would hate if I were on the other side, but here I am, not on the other side. And she is getting a little bit pressed from other places, and it's like, okay, nice pat on the back to the press that has actually started to ask some questions, but follow up and press upon Corinne Jean-Pierre. Like, that's not good enough. You remember Acosta? Remember how he treated Donald Trump? Do some of that ish to Corinne Jean-Pierre and make her have to say something.
I get that there are times when you, as the press secretary, say, you know what, that actually is outside of my purview. I will have to refer you to somebody else for
The
that
oyster
one.
money.
But she does it so often that you're like, no, actually, and I get that you have to do that once in a while, but referring me to Merrick Garland doesn't work. You're my point of contact. You're the reason we're here to ask questions. You're supposed to answer questions on behalf of all those people.
Yeah. All right, so the next clip that I want to talk about, Annie, will be cut 5, and it's Sage Steele. Now, if you remember Sage Steele, she got away from ESPN to feel more freed, and now she's starting to open up and talk about some of the stuff she's experienced while there.
This was about 2 months after he took office. That was an interesting experience in its own right because it was so structured, and I was told, you will say every word that we write out. You will not deviate from the script, and go. To the word, like every single question was scripted, gone over dozens of times by many executives, editors and executives. Absolutely. I was on script and was told not to deviate. It was very much, this is what you will ask. This is how you will say it. No follow-ups. No follow-ups. Next. I knew that this was a lot bigger than just the wonderful editors that I worked with. This went up to the fourth floor, as we said, that were all the bosses, the top executives, the decision makers are the president of our company, the CEO, where they all work.
So this is her talking about her interview with Joe Biden. And this was, she said, I think it was right after he was inaugurated. And it was an opening day interview for baseball. And one of the things that she said she wanted to ask him about was, why are you pulling the All-Star game from Atlanta? You know, and he wanted to deliver those talking points, but she couldn't ask any follow-up questions on this. I find that Sage Steele here, she says there's more to come on this. I'm very curious.
So she's she's talking about ESPN?
When she was on ESPN, she did an interview with Joe Biden, and that's how it was. It was scripted out. Do not deviate. No follow-up questions. You will ask what's on the paper, and that's it.
Do we know if it was pre-recorded?
That I don't know.
Because, man, what a way to go out. If it's live and you want to ask that follow-up, ask.
What are you going to do? Watch him struggle.
Mm-hmm. Gosh, it's so controlled. It's so sad that when you pull the curtain back and there's just more curtain.
Well, my thing is, and I always go back to this, how can you expect that or honestly believe that Joe Biden's running the country if he cannot respond to a follow-up question? I mean, there's so much. That was when he first started in the presidency, like months after he was inaugurated. And you can't ask him a follow-up because it might stumble him up, and we don't want those optics out there.
Earth Riders. Thanks for the Great Lakes.
I'm going to stay on the Joe Biden topic here. Cut number 10 is Wilton Bishop. Well, I call him Bishop. Cardinal Wilton Gregory. He was actually bishop in Belleville, Illinois for a while.
All right, let's listen to what he had to say.
I would say that he's very sincere about his faith, but like a number of Catholics, he picks and chooses dimensions of the faith to highlight while ignoring or even contradicting other parts. There is a phrase that we have used in the past, a cafeteria Catholic. You choose that which is attractive and dismiss that which is challenging.
So Wilton Gregory is the cardinal of Washington, D.C. He's over that area. And I'm sure a bunch of you out there are familiar with the hierarchy of the Catholic Church, but it's like priests, bishops, cardinals, and then you get up to the Pope and stuff like that. For all the words that we hear about Joe Biden being a faithful Catholic and a good Catholic, when you hear the cardinal of the District of Columbia saying he's kind of a cafeteria Catholic, that's not
a compliment?
Yeah, it's not. It's actually kind of an insult. And he goes on in cut number 11 to talk about some of these areas that Joe Biden picks and chooses
I would say there are things, especially in terms of the life issues, there are things that he chooses to ignore, or he uses the current situation as a political pawn rather than saying, look, my church believes this. I'm a good Catholic. I would like to believe this.
So here's my thing, and I'm going to come at this from a pastor's angle. If you are going to say you are a member of a church and you subscribe to the belief systems, the doctrines of that church, then you darn well better subscribe to them, and don't blow smoke up my rear telling me that you do whenever you don't. If your church says, hey, life, pro-life is important, then you be pro-life. You don't wishy-wash around it and try to come up with different ways to getting around it. You are pro-life. You either subscribe to those doctrines or you're not a member of that organization or that group or that denomination. My denomination, we have denominations for a reason. It's because we have a set of beliefs that we all in that denomination say we ascribe to. You either abide by them or you find the denomination that fits. And if you can't find a denomination that fits, then maybe you aren't a Catholic or maybe you aren't a Christian at all. These are questions that you need to ask yourself, and you need to be about it.
Yeah, if you're saying you're Catholic, but you don't agree with portions of what the Catholic faith believes, you have to ask yourself if you're really a Catholic. There are probably other, I'm Lutheran, and there are a lot of people who would look at my Lutheran faith that maybe are less familiar with different denominations and feel like the Lutheran faith is exactly like Catholic. You would probably look at it, go to church with us and feel like this is a Catholic church. But people who are Lutheran, and certainly people who are Catholic, would say, no. There are some incredibly important details that Lutherans and Catholics part on. Now, do I think I'll be in heaven with Catholics? I 100% do. Do I know Catholics who know that there will be Lutherans in heaven? I 100% do. So it's not all about, it's not completely a salvation-only conversation. But when you are somebody in a position like the President of the United States, and you're using your Catholic faith when it is a political advantage to you to speak to a group, a community, but you are trampling all over some of the most important pillars of that faith. You can't just, I mean, to think about using your biblically based faith only when it's politically convenient for you. Man, like people talked about like that in the Bible. Didn't go great for them.
Yeah, or it's not going to end great.
Yeah. And I don't know. I get very frustrated. I'm glad we're bringing up the conversation with life right now. I'm going to play real quick here before we get to a break. I'm going to get out of what I missed from the week and play something that I probably would end up missing from today, because I haven't heard Gutfeld's comment here. I'm going to listen to it live for the first time with you, but I do have something to say about this. Let's listen.
Got drug addiction, homelessness, the decline of education, the decline in mental health. Did I say inflation? Inflation. All of these are happening now, and they are consequences of a party that won due to millions of women who were galvanized to vote because they felt that abortion was under threat. So if you want all these bad things to continue, by all means, keep energizing the pro-abortion faction, because they're just going to keep voting. You said yesterday, Trump could say he'll leave abortion alone. They probably won't believe them. Probably right. Jessica said there's enough footage of Trump saying the contrary, and you're right. So it is a challenge. So how do you overcome it? I think Republicans have to be blunt and say, hey, if you want your abortion, you can keep your abortion. Our moral argument exists, and we hope that one day you'll listen to it and take it seriously. But right now, our mission is to save this country.
I feel like the point that Gutfeld is arriving at is a point that I would agree with, but not on the same terms. And the understanding that if you look around state by state by state, it's not just about the left wanting abortions to occur in this country. They want to use, they are trying to increase vote totals on the lives of dead babies. That is a wild ride to go on, to understand the political capital that the left feels that they can gain by emphasizing abortion. That is a very different approach to the majority of Americans who I believe don't like abortion, don't feel comfortable making abortion illegal, and would feel very comfortable with a parameter around abortion where it is in existence up to a specific time and then becomes very unthinkable later on in the pregnancy. That's where I think most Americans are. I believe that life starts at conception, and I believe it is God-breathed. That's my personal opinion. That is not a legalistic opinion, and it's not one that I think being forced into the political conversation is actually going to benefit the lives of the unborn. I don't think that we will save more babies forcing this issue at the ballot box. I actually think we will save more babies fighting for their lives, fighting for these women's lives, fighting to support these women through the pregnancy and the women and the children post-pregnancy. I believe that the battle, I don't actually think it will ever be won. I think it's going to be a continuous thing regardless of where the law is on it. I think the Republicans need to move away from trying to make this a pillar issue. It's a moral issue. It's a culture issue. And you will lose more, not just the life issue. You will lose more than the life issue at the ballot box when the left is capable of, at the altar of abortion and big government, pushing the dead babies, the dead unborn babies, out into the open to be used as a cudgel to gain votes. It's awful. It's really, really disgusting. At what cost will the left be willing to go to win elections, retain power, and money? I mean, I'm trying to think of something that's more egregious than that, and I really can't. The Republicans have a lot to lose when they only make abortion a political issue. It's not a political issue. It's a cultural issue. And we need to get into the business of amplifying to the nth degree adoption, making adoption a smooth process, a process where people are encouraged to participate in it who maybe haven't considered participating in it before. Empowering church groups to be able to support these women when they choose life with the diapers that they need, or the clothes that they need, or the resources, or the community that they need. We need to get into the business of supporting life so people can choose life, because I don't think we're going to win this issue at the ballot box. I think we will dramatically lose this issue and so much more if we don't. And so I agree with Gutfeld on that. I don't agree with the if you like your abortion, you can keep your abortion statement. I believe that we won't win at the ballot box, and we have to triple our efforts on the ground to meet these women where they are, to help them choose life. And as we've heard the Vitae Foundation say many times, we say on the show, to make not abortion illegal, but to make it unthinkable. And that's where you win. That, and probably simply through prayer. All right. You want to do any more, or should we move on? Ask Us Anything? Okay. We're going to do Ask Us Anything when we come back. The first question for the crew, are you a nerd about something? That's the question we're asking you as well. Are you a nerd about something? If you go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel, you can vote yes or no and comment like Kenton said, I have nerdy knowledge about classic rock bands and American history. Gary said, as a retired UPS driver, I'm a nerd about logistics and delivery methodology. That is a great one, because you're probably always analyzing, this process could be done better, couldn't it? And you don't even tell anyone, but in your mind, you're like, I can do this better. Let us know what you're a nerd about. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Michael's Flooring Outlet online at igotfloor.com, and also in person. Go shop in their stores and touch, feel, walk on the flooring that you might be investing in. There are a lot of different places you can get flooring in St. Louis, some of the big box, big chain stores, whatever. But what about shopping local? What about supporting a St. Louis family that has been supporting the flooring needs of St. Louisans just like yourself for decades? That's what you get when you go to Michael's Flooring Outlet. They've got 3 locations, and then, of course, their website, igotfloor.com. You can visit them in Dardenne Prairie. They're also in West County on Olive Boulevard, a mile off 270 West on Olive. You can also visit them in St. Charles County. Go this weekend to Main Street in Old Town St. Peters at Mid Rivers and Highway 70. Talk to the sales staff there about what you're looking for. Maybe you've got pictures of your room and maybe something off Instagram or something about the look that you're trying to reach, and they will give you your options. They will tell you, you invest in this product, it's going to require this maintenance. You invest in that product, it's going to require no maintenance. Or maybe you're looking for carpet, the Mohawk Smart Strand line that I talk about so much and offers you superior performance. You can test and experience the different levels of padding that you can invest in and understand exactly where your money is being spent and the quality that you're getting without having to lose value. It's all at Michael's Flooring Outlet. Go check them out online right now at igotfloored.com.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility in this election year? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 38 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Hey, Mark Cox here. I recently learned something new from St. Louis real estate expert Gloria Liu of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. She told me the number of all-cash home sales is at the highest level since 2011. Makes sense. Gloria knows that today home sellers have options outside of a real estate agent or an auction company, in that a cash offer may be the best solution. Unlike a local investor or a real estate agent that gives you just one option, Gloria Lou's able to provide multiple cash offers quickly by visiting her website. You also get a guaranteed offer from one of her motivated buyers in waiting. So if you'd like to receive multiple cash offers on your home quickly, visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. You can sell as is without having to make any costly repair and choose your closing date. Get multiple cash offers for your home today at GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Is yours? Did you know that there's an R value associated with insulation? To find out your R value or for a free insulation estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Friday afternoon, we take you into the weekend with a Reardon Roundtable. Jane will be on the panel. Former St. Louis County Police Chief Tim Fitch, State Rep Donna Behringer. It all starts at 3.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
You gotta keep them separated.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. It's a little Ask Us Anything time. Let's just go ahead and get into that right now.
You have to ask me nicely. Don't make me beg here.
Ask me anything.
Tell me the truth! So the first question I'm going to ask is the YouTube live chat poll question, and I had this written down as a question to ask for Ask Me Anything, but I thought I just want to know what everybody says about it. Are you a nerd about something? Yes or no? Brad, are you a nerd, and if you are, where do you qualify as nerddom for you?
Okay, so nerddom to me, yes, I am a nerd about something. Nerddom to me is about something that you just get absolutely incredibly excited about, and you know, like, even the most minute, oddball details about stuff, and you could talk about it with other people.
You said something important there. It's not just about knowing a lot about it.
Right.
There's like a weird level of
excitement,
thrill and excitement that you
Yes.
get from knowing it. Yeah, that's
So-
important.
So when I think about, like, there's a couple things. Somebody on the chat was asking me if I'm a Star Wars nerd. That is a loaded question because I do have Jedi robes, and when we went to Disney, I got the helmet for the X-wing pilot.
Yeah, you're starting to clarify what kind of Star Wars
Yes.
nerd you are. That makes you a nerd.
But there's other people out there that are just way more knowledgeable about it and have way more attention to detail and stuff like that. But I love the Star Wars franchise. I love watching the movies. But I think the thing that I'm the biggest nerd about is cars.
Yeah.
And specifically, I'm really nerdy about customizing cars and building cars from scratch. Not like designing my own car and blah, 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 but taking a car and modifying suspension and all this other stuff to make it something that it never was originally into something better. So that's kind of where I'm at. So customizing
People
cars.
need to know a car nerd.
Everybody needs to know a car nerd.
You've helped us a few times. Leah.
Yeah.
You nerd about anything?
Well, 3 things came to mind. First, I would say CrossFit, like the sport of CrossFit. I nerd out over all the athletes, like their personal lives, what they post on social media. It drives my dad crazy because I can tell him anything about anybody.
Do you follow CrossFit like people follow baseball?
Oh, yeah.
So like
Yeah.
there's
Like
celebrities.
you can do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And they have the CrossFit Games, which is like the Super Bowl or World Series.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I also, as you might have seen yesterday in the private chat, I am a nerd about the Scream franchise.
Scream specifically.
Yeah. I mean, I like horror movies, and I can tell you a lot about any of them, but Scream specifically, yes.
I think you're a horror movie nerd where your like favorites are the Scream. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Series?
Yeah.
Because you know a lot about a lot of horror movies.
Yeah. I'd say Scream, Saw, and Halloween. Which, I mean, I guess looking at it, all those have a lot of movies in their franchise. So,
was there a third thing?
Yeah.
Oh, this is the one I'm most
Uh-oh,
interested in.
okay.
Yeah,
This is the one.
Do tell.
All right.
I'm just here to break the news. The third thing is Ryan Wiggins.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! I'm so honored.
You are the type of person who would be so excited to have
his month.
to have a stalker.
I
If
yeah.
Ryan came and found out that he had a stalker, it would maybe be the best thing to ever
Oh,
happen
I'd
to him.
walk out and I'd be signing little things for him, and oh, you're outside my house already. You're right here. Whatever this is, though,
It's like
Leah.
Ryan feeds and waters the stalker. Like when you have a stray animal around, you're like, don't feed it, don't name it, don't feed it. And Ryan's like setting out hostess cakes just to entice them to come in and spend more
Invite
time.
Jim in for dinner. Get to know him.
Oh, you think it's a man? Wow.
Yeah.
That is a tell. That's a tell. That is
Did I think it's a man?
that is a tell. I can't go into more.
Well,
What's the? We
now
need to
that
know
I
this.
say it,
Unless it's Ryan Wiggins and I scooped you, Leah. What is your third thing?
It's not Ryan. But
Oh,
what a
crushing
huge
defeat.
letdown.
it's social media and figuring out algorithms and what makes like Instagram tick and Facebook, and I geek out over that. Like I love reading articles about it and trying new things and trying to post at different times and using hashtags and certain hashtags and doing this and that and I just kind of, it's a little fun thing.
I'm
That
actually
was not
I'm
necessary.
sorry.
We were really
was.
hoping for something scandalous.
No,
Yeah.
and if you find out there's somebody that stands outside my house that I haven't
Yeah.
noticed, let me know because I would love to know.
Okay.
I'm glad you said that one about social media, though, because my mind, there's two areas. Like, there's industry stuff, like TV industry I kind of geek out on. Real estate stuff I geek out on. I don't know why, I just really enjoy it. But then the nerdy, the like traditional nerdy stuff. Twilight Zone.
I think you were going to say Twilight.
No.
I like that they sparkle.
No, although
No,
I am
he's
Team
talking about-
Edward.
Yeah. Oh man, if I had a gun to my head, I couldn't have come up with a name from
Yeah,
Twilight.
you're welcome.
But I remember
Yeah, I'm Team Edward.
you would
in
be.
the second movie more than anything. But I don't like Twilight. That's just a joke.
Twilight Zone and what else?
Twilight Zone and Pink Floyd. I know pretty much everything there
What
is to
happens
know.
if you watch Twilight Zone while Pink Floyd plays in the background? Is that like the end?
I don't know. I can tell you what happens when you watch Wizard of Oz and you play Pink Floyd. And
Nothing.
yeah, it's kind of just whatever. It's not as exciting as they make it out to be.
If you were going to say that I was a nerd about anything, what would you say I was a nerd about?
Come on. Politics.
Yeah.
You know politics and you know Disney. That's another good one. Those are the first two. Is there something else, though?
I don't think I'm a nerd about
Early
politics.
2000s Cardinals baseball.
John Mayer.
Yeah. Yeah. I have the John Mayer Sirius channel on my
Oh, there
car.
is one.
Yeah. Okay. All right, John. Listen up. He has a channel on Sirius, and I like the music. I like where John Mayer expands his. He has a pretty broad level of interest. It is reflected in his different albums. He does blues like I don't think anyone else in my generation really does, and I really like that. He also has Southern rock and pop and 80s rock and yacht rock and all this stuff. I've learned a lot about music through John Mayer's influences. He gets this channel on Sirius, and it's called Life with John Mayer. And every time he says, "You're listening to Life with John Mayer," I sometimes even say it out loud, "Shut up." And I'm like the hugest John Mayer fan because of his music. I used to have to be like, I'm not interested in like dating him. I'm good in that department. It's so like meta that I can't handle it. I just want to listen to music, but I don't need to feel like I got in my Chrysler Pacifica to go through Life with John Mayer.
So it would have been serious by somebody to say this. You're listening to Life with Kiss or whatever. But then he would have made it a joke to say that. But then he doubled down by not making it a joke.
I never know how serious he's being about anything at any time. During COVID, he probably had one of the most successful Instagram live broadcasts. Did you ever see one of them?
I don't think so.
They were amazing because it was like he'd have like a xylophone next to him and he'd go to change points and he like bing, 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 bing.
Ooh, I like
he'd
that.
play it himself. He'd have like a shower curtain behind him or something like that for a backdrop. I mean, whatever. It looked like a 14-year-old made the set. And it looked like, you remember when we were kids and nobody could see the stupid stuff we did because the internet didn't exist?
Mm-hmm.
And you were like, gonna make your own TV show or you were gonna whatever. And you would do all the things, but nobody knew.
I actually taped that stuff.
Well, yeah.
At some point, that'll resurface.
Nobody knows. Nobody has ever seen it. If you had a put it on your shoulder camcorder, you could maybe video some of that stuff. And there's probably some of that stuff exists from my brother and myself from when we were kids, but nobody knew. Now you can produce like a whole, like he was streaming to tens of thousands of people just doing whatever. And now he's got this serious channel. I'm a big John Mayer fan. I love his music. I can sing pretty much every song he's ever written and played. I've been to probably, I don't think it's 8 to 10 concerts of his. I've traveled to his concerts. I don't think I'm a nerd about politics. I don't consider, like you said before, that your nerddom has to have this like level of excitement and thrill to it. I don't go in the news and politics for like fun. I don't.
I think though that you're that interested in it that even if it's not fun, you would, even if you didn't work here, you would be pretty plugged into it. Just because you're that interested.
I mean, if I was a librarian and I paid this much attention to it, then yeah, I would say maybe there was some nerddom to it, but I wouldn't pay this much attention to it.
Okay. I stand corrected. I really thought you would have, though. I guess there's only one way to know, and that's to get you fired.
Well, speaking of, let's go to this person's question here on the YouTube live chat, and it said, where is it? Was it starter? Info Dude said, if 97.1 changed to music, would you stay in the station? What do you know, Info Dude?
Yeah, what's your name say?
Yeah. Where are you getting this info?
Yeah, I need to know.
Dude.
See, the way radio works is one day we're going to come to work and they're going to tell us to go home.
Oh, jeez.
And that's the way it works. One day it'll happen. I hope it doesn't happen anytime soon. I have a lot of lines in the water, and none of them are radio music DJ. I would not.
That's the only thing I'm fishing for.
I would not. Are you trying to get Hannah's job on Y98 Morning Show?
That's why I'm like, hey, are you listening to Blackpink?
What?
I think she's an
doing
artist.
A K-pop radio station?
Yeah, don't talk like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I actually don't even know who that is. I've just seen it.
K-pop.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I went to school for TV radio. I have a degree to do this. I did not think that I would ever have my own radio show. I did not get into communications to have my own radio show. I actually wanted to be a sideline reporter on television. I wanted to go into sports reporting and got into this. So I don't feel like this is just the only place that I would be, and I have thoughts in my mind, plans A, B, C, and D already formulated to what I would do in the event that the radio industry does what it does and says, see you later. And then you just move on with your life. So you should subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Follow me wherever I go.
24 years, though. Going on 24 years here at 97.1. So.
Not me.
Yeah,
Not
I thought
you,
you were talking about.
but the station, as a talk station,
Yeah.
it's rolling.
Would you be a radio DJ? Would you do music?
Yeah, I would, because I have, so I guess I could. If
about
that
you?
opportunity presented
Same.
itself.
I would because I have, but I wasn't very good at it. So
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would.
No. Brad and I are in the same boat.
Yeah.
That's not what this is.
Ryan, you and I
No.
could do a show.
Leah and Ryan. It's Leah and
No.
Ryan in the morning.
Oh God.
No DJ's ever put the other person's name first in the show. So
I
that
would.
was a
yeah.
compliment, Leah.
Well, I kind of would take it easy. She'd kind of do all the work.
Wait,
Hold on.
what would that look like?
Yeah, nobody knows. It's a very foreign concept.
No, there are few people who could have an idea. All right, Ryan has a burning question to ask,
I
but
do.
we're going to ask it at the other side of the break. You good with that?
Yeah, I am, but I do need to know the answer to this question. So
Do you want
we
to
have
ask the question now and get the
No.
answers later?
No. I want to wait because I want to give it its full attention.
All right, stick around. More Ask Us Anything. Go to the Any Fry YouTube channel. Leave your questions there. We might ask them. We'll get to Ryan's burning questions when we come back. Don't go away.
They're gonna bash it up, bash it up, bash it up, bash it up. Hey, a man, you're talking back to me. Take them out. Gotta keep them separated. Hey, a man, you're disrespecting me. Take them out. Gotta keep them separated.
AirComfortService.com. You need service on your HVAC unit in your home. You need to know the right people to call. I have had to have that, what's going on with the furnace? What's going on with the air conditioner conversation? I've had to have them come out for an emergency look with the furnace when it was super cold, and it was the last week of December, and you call that emergency line. When the time comes and it's an emergency for you, or a lot of times it's for a loved one that you're looking after. Mom and dad, they live on their own, and the weather gets really hot outside or really cold outside, and you know that unit that's in their house is 20 years old. It's got to be working, and it's got to be working well. Who do you call that you trust? You call Corey Malone, you call Air Comfort Service, and they come out to your home and they take care of what you need to take care of, and you are in the best of hands. I speak of this personally from experience. I have been a patron of theirs for quite a lot of things in my house, and I encourage you to trust them as well, to give you the information you need, to give you the options that you have, and to give you the best access to deals that there are. Great financing options, 0% financing up to 72 months potentially, and a huge, huge access to rebates to help make that cost a little bit more affordable. 314-513-0091, online at aircomfortservice.com.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Mike Carter here of Carter Law Offices. You know, as an attorney, I make my way across the great state of Missouri on a pretty regular basis. And from the rivers to the lakes and the Ozark Mountains, it's really just a pleasure to travel across the great state of Missouri. And, you know, not to mention, we have the best sports team and the best cities and the friendliest small towns in America, it seems like. And Carter Law Offices wants to make sure Missouri's story gets out far and wide about our excellent business climate, our exceptional workforce. You'll hear more from me soon, Mike Carter.
Visit MikeCarter.com to see Mike's interviews with all of Missouri's elected leaders.
Mike Carter here of Carter Law Offices. You know, as an attorney, I make my way across the great state of Missouri on a pretty regular basis. And from the rivers to the lakes and the Ozark Mountains and the richest farmland around, it's really just a pleasure to travel across the great state of Missouri. And, you know, not to mention, we have the best sports team and the best cities and the friendliest small towns in America, it seems like. And Carter Law Offices wants to make sure Missouri's story gets out far and wide about our excellent business climate, our exceptional workforce. You'll hear more from me soon, Mike Carter.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Sick of those annoying ads slowing you down online? Introducing i3 Broadband's 100% fiber optic network with advanced whole home Wi-Fi. With speeds up to 8 gigabits, buffering is so yesterday. Our rock-solid connection keeps you streaming, gaming, and browsing without a hitch, thanks to our ad blocking feature. No contracts, no hidden fees, just pure internet bliss. And we've got a no-risk 30-day money-back guarantee. Dial 877-976-0711 or swing by i3broadband.com/STL. We're local, reliable, and committed to St. Louis.
Learn to retire in 5 years or less through real estate investing. Learn how, learn now. Let Lifestyles Unlimited show you how. Live in St. Louis, 2 days only. Hilton Frontenac, April 27th and 28th. Go to GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. That's GiveMeTotalFreedom.com.
We're asking you this question now. Are you a nerd about something? Yes or no? And of course, if you say no, then fine. But if you say yes, let us know what you're a nerd about. We're kind of monitoring those comments in the chat as we go about the day. We'll give the results of that at the end of the show. It's the Andy Fry YouTube live chat poll of the day. It is 1:48. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
You found 97.1 FM Talk, where we ask questions, even when the legacy media won't. especially when the legacy media won't.
St. Louis is home for conservative talk.
97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Oh, you are my sunrise on the darkest day. Got me feeling some kind of way. Make me wanna savor every moment slowly, slowly. You fit me, tailor-made, love how you put it on. Got the only key, know how to turn it on. The way you nibble on my ear, the only words I wanna hear. Baby, take it slow so we can last long.
This song is for the Biden Democrat voters that are of Latino origin. And that's Joe Biden. That's Joe Biden, man. Do you remember that?
Oh, is this the one where he tried to play it on his cell phone?
Yeah.
No, he didn't try to play it on his cell phone. He did.
He did play it.
He was at a Spanish-speaking event, and he's like, hey, guys, I have something from you. And then he put this up.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, no.
Then he had the look. You remember the look where he's like...
He looks so proud.
Yes.
Like,
And then Dr. Jill Biden referred to him as tacos. Take it from here.
That's right.
Yeah.
That
Breakfast
is right.
tacos.
Breakfast tacos. Wow.
Ask us anything. You said you had a burning question.
I do.
Do you remember it? You've had all the...
It was such a big deal.
Burning
It is
question.
such a big deal that I'm relishing this moment because I've always wanted to know the answer to this question. And I'm like, why didn't I ever ask?
Everybody's getting so hyped up.
This is going to be the worst question
Yeah.
ever.
Just wait.
When you sign up for birthday rewards, do you always put in your real birthday?
100% of the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
That was
to
exciting.
know.
Ryan, are you
That
having
was
a
your
crisis?
burning question?
Are you having a crisis of conscience?
Yeah, a little bit, because they always give you birthday stuff, and I never can actually go to all those restaurants on my birthday, and I figure the restaurant doesn't really care because they're going to give you it once a year. They don't care. So I always just sign up with some random date.
Don't they give you like a week or so to get...
Yeah, but I can't do all that stuff.
Like Cold Stone gives you a month to
What's
go get
the
your...
honest, good thing to do, Ryan?
I think the honest thing is that when you consider that the company doesn't really care what your birthday is, it's once a year,
You are inferring that.
that it's fine to just put any date because it's only one time a year. Doesn't matter to
Pastor?
them.
Well, the Bible says, let your yes be yes and your no be no.
Oh, the scripture!
In regards to what?
Scripture!
Yes, I am putting in random dates.
Yeah, yes or no, is this your birthday? No.
They don't care.
You don't know that.
But it doesn't matter.
You don't know that they don't care or they do care.
No, I think they do care because when you give somebody something for their birthday, that's happening one time a year on a date that's actually real. What you're doing is finding out a place has birthday rewards and taking advantage of their system so you can get something free right then.
It's not always right then. Sometimes it'll just be
you
a
plan
random
a month
date.
ahead on your birthday?
Yeah,
He says
random.
random. I bet you he has got a spreadsheet with all the ones so that he gets free stuff throughout the year.
Double that bet that he does not have a spreadsheet.
Annie's right. This question did not go the way I was hoping.
Ryan.
I was really hoping that you guys were like, yeah, it doesn't matter. Who cares?
You think we would like jump on with your debauchery?
Yes, I do. I
Heathen.
really do.
Leah, you have a question?
Yeah, I do. I didn't have it pulled up, but here we go. What is a weird fact someone might not know about you?
Oh, Ryan's a liar.
Did you know that companies don't care about what your
Deceiver.
birthday is?
No, a weird fact about you, Ryan.
Weird fact about me.
That people might not know about you. Like,
Um,
maybe your family does, but like, why don't you tell everybody in the chat?
I have one, and I've said this before, but it's been a while. When I was maybe 2.5 or 3 years old, I was at home. I had just gotten done taking a bath. I was 2 or 3 years old. I got out of the bathtub, buck naked, picked up an umbrella because it was raining outside, obviously, and I went and stood outside with an umbrella, naked.
How old?
That was last week. 2 or 3 years old.
Mhm.
I
When it was
2 or
hailing.
3 years old. So my little baby bare bottom was out there with an umbrella covering the back of me, and my parents took a picture of it and entered it into a Kodak contest.
Aww.
And it won, and it ended up being featured at Epcot. They won $50 and a book about China. I did not get to keep that $50. But this booty right here, contest winning.
Moneymaker.
Now it's a saggy mom butt.
It's a moneymaker.
Moneymaker. Yeah, that's where I make my money from. not this big mouth. That's my fun fact. Beat
and
that.
the other fun fact, she tried it again, like she said last week.
Wait. One other thing, yeah.
And it got caught on the Ring door cam.
It wasn't in the front yard. It was in the backyard.
Right.
But it was raining, which it did recently. The other thing is, I think it was the Alton Telegraph. I think it was the Alton Telegraph. I think I was on the front page of it, and the picture is like on the fold, and it's a color photo of me having won this like national contest, and my parents have it like the newspaper is framed. And no, it's like it does. Where do you put that? They have it framed, and it always gets moved behind like doors. It's like you want to preserve it, but what are you gonna do with it?
Yeah, what are you gonna do with that?
Yeah, thank God it's behind the door.
Okay.
Fun fact about either of you guys? Any of you? Leah, do you have one?
Sure. This is a weird one, but maybe I'm not alone. I eat my food from least favorite to favorite every time.
I eat my food from most healthy to least healthy. So if I get full, have eaten my healthy food first.
Leah, I'll tell you the truth. I used to do that, and now I just don't eat my least favorite foods. Because I'm an adult, and I'm like, I'm not eating that.
No, that's when you become an adult is when you do eat your least favorite foods.
No. You guys got it all backwards.
Yes.
No.
Ryan.
No, I'm not going to eat collard greens or something.
Vegetables?
Yeah, basically any vegetable is what I'm saying. If it grows, it goes.
Do you have a fun fact?
I do. When I first started in TV, YouTube was brand new. I think this was 2006 or 7.
This is an industry talk. We haven't done one of these in a while.
I made a video when I worked at UPN 46, which is no longer even a station, that went viral. And it actually got in the Post-Dispatch, and like it actually was a legitimately viral video. It's still out there somewhere, although the algorithm has completely buried it because it's 15 years old. But if you want to see it, it's called Eagles Fly IYI.
Brad?
You know what? I've got things that if I said this is an interesting fact about me, you'd be like, no, yeah, that tracks. So it wouldn't be an interesting fact that nobody would predict or know.
Just has to be a fact.
Yeah, so I used to race cars, and I won a lot of races when I was younger.
Kids' cars? Like the little tracks?
No. It's like I was driving them.
Yeah,
I was driving them, and you guys have made
every race I ran in.
You guys have made fun of me for this before, but they're quarter midgets, so it's like a go-kart, but a little bit more fancy than a go-kart.
Brad wins again. I'm the best.
Hot Wheels down the track.
All right.
Any other quick questions before we break?
Would you rather have a pause button or a rewind button in your life?
Pause. Although rewind, you could make a lot of money because you'd know like stocks and stuff ahead of time.
Pause, you could take so many naps.
Yeah, but then you'd age super fast. I thought about that.
That's not part of the rule.
Yeah, you would.
No, you're pausing.
Oh, but you're still existing. So I guess like even your cells would
if
pause.
I slept more, I would look younger.
I say rewind. Change my mind.
I was going to say rewind, too.
I think I want the rewind one, and it's for Ryan's reasoning. I would go in and bet on sports games.
I'd go back
like
and
that.
win all those races against you.
I'd do exactly what Back to the Future tells you not to do.
It never works. It never pans out. X's and O's on the Annie Fry Show. How are we going to do this week, Ryan? You feel good about it?
Yeah. I'm back in the host chair. And I'm feeling good about it.
We'll get Eddie and Trisha in here to face off with X's and O's, a little recap of the news of the week, and whatever else Ryan put in there in just a few minutes. Don't go away.
Judge Mike Carter here to talk to you about my news talk program, Justice and Journalism with Judge Mike Carter. People ask, why is a judge a host of a news talk show? As a judge, I'm the neutral party that seeks to learn the truth and bring you the facts. Somewhere along the line, news shows lost that objectivity. Growing up, I can remember watching Walter Cronkite and knowing you could believe he didn't have a hidden agenda. Before I received my law degree and later became an elected judge for the past decade, I earned a master's degree in journalism at Mizzou, the very same journalism school Walter Cronkite attended. I was given a real appreciation for getting to the truth both as a judge and a journalist. Hence the name of my show, Justice in Journalism, with me, Judge Mike Carter. Here I focus on local newsmakers, personalities, and Missouri officials like Governor Parson, Lieutenant Governor Kehoe, Secretary of State Ashcroft, Attorney General Bailey, and many more. Justice in Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter, airs on Fox and ABC. You can also watch our past shows at MikeCarter.com, where we ask the questions and let you be the judge.
If you'd like to see more of Judge Mike Carter's interviews on his program, Justice in Journalism, visit MikeCarter.com.
Hey, if you have rental houses like I do, I have a handful. If you have between 1 door and 100 doors, great advice. Stop doing everything by yourself. You're going to drive yourself crazy and you're going to burn yourself out. You'll stop growing your business. You got to get help. And don't necessarily try to bring in 100 different contractors. Call Sean and Kristen with Rapid Rental Renovations. They can handle everything. Painting, flooring, light fixtures, bathroom updates, lock changes, blinds, everything big and small at one location from people you can trust. Sean and Kristen are awesome. They're from right here in the St. Louis area. And I am here to just tell you about them because they will save you so much time. And since they do rentals, you know you can trust them to not come in and be like, you know what you need? Granite countertops. They know you don't need that stuff. You might just need paint and baseboards in one room. They will handle all of it. Here's the website you go to call them. Go to murphycleanoutservices.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The president gets a first-hand look on Lisa Brady, Fox News. He's in Baltimore, set to speak soon after taking an aerial tour of the collapsed Key Bridge and the container ship that hit it last week.
We expect the president will double down on using the full force of the federal government to do whatever it takes, whatever it needs to be spent to get this port reopened.
Fox's Griff Jenkins in Baltimore, where salvage crews continue to move tons of debris. The Army Corps of Engineers hoping to open a larger temporary channel soon and the full channel possibly by the end of next month. No reports of major damage or any injuries after a rare northeast earthquake, but a lot of people felt it.
14 states with this 4.8 earthquake felt this earthquake this morning. It goes across much of New York, up across New England, down in across areas of Virginia as well.
Fox meteorologist Rick Reichmuth. It was centered in New Jersey and certainly got everyone's attention, including in New York City.
Responses on whether people felt it or not were a mixed bag.
It felt like, kind of, to be honest, like when you're above a train and the train rolls through, but much longer.
A few people from the building came out and asked me the same question. Did I feel it? I've been standing right here and didn't feel one thing.
And then there were visitors to the city who were much more accustomed to such shaking.
We're from California. We're here with 8th graders on a trip, and we all joke that we didn't feel it because we're used to it.
In Midtown Manhattan, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
The city and state officials across the region checking infrastructure, including bridges and tunnels, for any damage. Some flight delays continue after a brief ground stop in the New York area. At least 5 smaller aftershocks reported so far, all in New Jersey. The Israeli Defense Forces taking full responsibility for the deadly strike on an aid convoy in a statement on the investigation results, calling it a terrible chain of errors that should never have happened. But the head of the UN is calling for an independent probe. America is listening to Fox News.
Waiting on a tax return? Hopefully it ends up in your hands. Fraudulent tax returns due to identity theft increased by 30% in 2023. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. Our U.S.-based restoration specialists are experts dedicated to helping solve your identity theft issues. And all LifeLock plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package. So we'll reimburse you up to the limits of your plan if you lose money due to identity theft. Help protect your information this tax season with LifeLock. Save up to 25% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com.
Are you over 30 and putting off life insurance? It's time to get a quick quote from Ethos, a better, easier way to get term life insurance, all online with no medical exam. Answer a few health questions and you could be approved for up to $2 million. Isn't it worth 10 minutes to help protect your family's financial security? Ethos, up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Certainly nice to see added sunshine on this Friday afternoon, but temperatures are still below average, 58. Partly to mostly clear skies tonight. Take it down to the freezing point, 32. The weekend, Saturday, sunny skies, cold start, but better Saturday afternoon. Nice Saturday afternoon, 62. Showers late Saturday night and Sunday clouds, scattered showers, and a warm 72. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Stewart's American Mortgage. Every single time you need to get a mortgage taken care of, or if you've been considering getting a refinance on the mortgage that you have, you need to check with Stewie about the bagel loan. You can't go anywhere else and get a bagel loan. It is only at Stewart's American Mortgage, and he is a phone call or a text message away. This is the direct number to the phone that he has in his pocket right now. This is his cell phone number, 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Why is the bagel loan this important? Because when you go to get a mortgage, your initial mortgage on a home, or if you're doing a refinance and you qualify for the bagel loan, I am talking zero in closing costs. That is thousands of dollars back in your pocket that you were going to spend when you go other places and don't qualify for a bagel loan. They don't have it. It's only with Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage. I myself am a 2-time refinance customer using the bagel loan with Stewie. It is real. The closing costs aren't tucked away somewhere else. They don't exist. It stays in your pocket. 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan for more information. NMLS number 226715.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility in this election year? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 38 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
If you're looking for a senior living community, check out Hampton Manor of Wentzville. Mark Cox here. I just had an opportunity to visit Hampton Manor the other day, and again, what a beautiful spot it is. A brand new building, just had their grand opening. If you take a tour at Hampton Manor, they're going to treat you to lunch, courtesy of their private chef, Chef Scott, and the food out there is absolutely outstanding. It's convenient. Take Interstate 70 to the Lake St. Louis exit. It's about a quarter-mile north. Schedule online today at wentzvilleassistedliving.com.
With each breath, allergens, germs, and viruses get trapped in your nose. Now there's a simple, easy, and effective way to clean your nose and protect your health. It's called Navage. Navage available at Navage.com.
A people, a state of mind, all in one. It's Wiggins America, and it's every Saturday from 6 to 8 a.m. and Sunday evenings from 5 to 7. So stamp your passport. Wiggins America, 97.1 FM Talk. The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
They got someone here knows what they're talking about.
Left up, left right, gotta love this American ride.
Like, you need to take some time to get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back. Happy Friday. It's 2:07, and that's what that sound means. It's nice when we have Eddie and Trisha in here. Eddie is an account executive with Odyssey, and Trisha runs the station pretty much. And when we play the Ryan Wiggins version of the intro, Eddie, it like, I have new clients in here, and I'm like, I hope this goes well. Like, I hope they're not like, what did I sign up for? But you guys are good.
And from the programming side, there's a rating spike, so that's cool.
It is. It's actually the highest rated 45 seconds in the whole week.
Yeah, they've
during
really
the whole
honed
week.
that down.
Yeah.
That's neat that you guys can do that now.
That's great.
Annie?
Is that your rating system?
Oh, that's from C-suite.
I get the numbers directly from Ryan.
So, just before we get started here on X's and O's, Eddie and Trisha are going to face off. We do this every Friday at 2 o'clock. We have coworkers who come in and play. We have show sponsors who come in and play. If you're ever interested in being a part of X's and O's and sponsoring the show, I'd encourage you to reach out to me, and I'll put you in touch with Eddie, who is just a wonderful person who's helped us with sponsors on the show. Ryan, why do you have an egg on your shirt?
That's a great question. And there is no great answer to that question.
Is that from Japan?
I got this the first day in Japan when I was so out of my mind on no sleep. I was like,
That's the
that
decision
looks
you
cool.
made?
And then I got it home like,
Were you
why
hungry?
did I get that? I don't know what that is.
He's got a sunny side up leg on his left breast.
It's just an egg, and it is there, and that is it. There's no explanation as to why there's a fried egg, just right there.
Japan, there's a character in Japan. Japanese, might be an anime thing. I don't know. And you know why I know this? Because I was in the store in Japan, in Epcot. And there is this egg, like stuffy thing that you can get. And it's in a whole bunch, this egg has a bunch of different faces on it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I go the whole way. I'm walking, anime, all of the stuff that comes out of that culture that is, there are things that are so trendy. I just walk around, I'm like, I don't get it.
I don't know.
I don't understand this.
That
I'm
stuff
not
was
judging
all
it.
over the place, too. It was on the trains. There was a character on one of the trains that was just a butt face. And it's a popular cartoon.
Was that on the first
And it
day
talks like blah, 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 blah. Like,
Stop it.
No, I'm serious.
An eye on either cheek.
An eye on either cheek,
Wow.
and then its mouth is the butt.
I don't believe it.
It's real.
I'm going to need to see a video
Why
of
didn't you
it.
get that
Yeah.
jacket?
Yeah, good question. Why did I get the butt cheek jacket?
Oh, he does have that
does.
one. Yeah.
That's
do that next
That's
week.
for weekends.
Join us on the Annie Fry YouTube channel if you want to see Ryan's egg jacket and if you want to play X's and O's along with us. Take it away.
Okay. Here we go. It is Eddie versus Trisha, and it is X's and O's. Trisha, we are swapping seats from last week.
Yeah, we are.
I was in your seat and you're in mine. And now we're back to usual. So here we go. Eddie's never played before. So we're going to let Eddie
First
go
time.
first. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how you do here with X's and O's because this is a current events game. So you do kind of have to be paying attention. But, hey, you got your experts to help you. So you'll pick a square. You'll pick either Annie, Brad, or Leah to answer the question for you. You simply agree or disagree for the square. Once somebody gets a tic-tac-toe, we don't stop. We keep going. We fill out the whole board. So that's the general rules on how to play X's and O's. Eddie, take it away. Which square do you want?
I'm going to go with square number 5, and I'm going to pick Annie.
All right. Center square. Let's do it.
Square
I wanna get
number
this right.
5 with Annie is one of our audio whoopies. And there it goes. There we go. All right, audio whoopee. Jimmy Kimmel took a trip recently and had a few things to say about the USA on his show.
The bathrooms in are cleaner than our operating rooms here. It's like the whole country is Disneyland and we're living at Six Flags.
All right, what country did Jimmy Kimmel visit and make that gross comparison with America?
Japan.
Okay.
I will have to agree.
Well, doggone it, you guys are right. Yes. I didn't know we were going to do the whole lead into the segment talking about Japan when I wrote that, but
I looked at your questions this week.
yeah, good job. I couldn't believe when I saw that. My dad sent that to me this week. He's like, hey, guess who just did a monologue about their trip to Japan literally at the same time as you were there?
Yeah, we knew where you were. We know you've been trying to get on that show forever.
Yeah, I was just running errands for him. You want coffee, sir? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mr. Kimmel, sir.
Yes, Mr. Kimmel, sir. All right, Trisha. Eddie got the middle square.
All
with a
right.
Big X to start it.
I'm going to go with number 7, bottom left, and Leah.
Number 7, right in your Leah wheelhouse, sports.
That's called the Leah House.
Yep.
I prefer music, but that's okay.
Okay, well, this one's going to be sports, though. The final four.
Wait, you don't cater these questions to us?
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise. The Final Four is this weekend with Alabama playing UConn tomorrow and NC State playing Purdue. In which swing state is the Final Four and national championship game being played this year?
Ryan.
This is right up your alley. I know you're paying close attention.
yeah. I'm all over basketball.
All right.
Basketball, right?
And there's some hints in there, of course. Which swing state is the Final Four and the national championship being played in this year?
Arizona.
Arizona.
All right, I have no idea.
Okay.
So I'm going to disagree.
Arizona is a swing state.
That's good because I wasn't even sure about that. So good job, Leah.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of swing states.
I'm still going to disagree.
You're going to disagree.
Yep.
Sticking with disagree.
That's what I'm going to do.
Okay, I'm going to ring the bell for Eddie because you got it wrong.
Good job, Leah.
Thanks.
Good job, Eddie.
Yeah, good job, Leah.
All right, now I know how to play with Leah. That was my first time. We trust Leah.
And we actually did talk about that on the air. Didn't I tell you that UConn, their plane was delayed? UConn girls team, I think it's a girls team, for whatever reason was having plane trouble and couldn't get to Arizona in time. UConn girls play tonight against Caitlin Clark in Iowa at 8:30. I will be watching.
Yeah, so will America. That might outdo the actual national championship this year because people are really paying attention. All right, yeah, Arizona, Glendale specifically. So there you go.
Nice job, everybody but me.
Eddie
That's okay.
is in control of the
Eddie's
board.
so nice. He's like, it's okay.
It's okay. I'm going to go with the bottom.
Oh, that was you said. Did you say number 3 or 7?
A 7.
Oh, I thought 7. Okay, that's what I
You
thought.
should go with 3 now, though.
I'm going to go with...
Oh no! Don't give him any
Just
ideas.
calling his shot, that's all.
I'm going to go with upper right, number 3.
Okay,
Let's put that X in the upper 3 then.
number 3.
Throw it up there.
And
Brad?
Brad.
All right.
All right, Brad, you have stumbled into AI. This is a real clip from the week run through artificial intelligence, so it won't sound like the person saying it. Brad, tell me who said this.
The automotive sector is moving toward EVs and we can't pretend otherwise. Sometimes when these debates happen, I feel like it's the early 2000s and I'm talking to some people who think that we can just have landline phones forever.
All right.
Keep your record player on at night.
Keep my record player on at night. This is Mayor Pete Buttigieg.
Okay.
Buttigieg?
Buttigieg.
Mayor Pete, transportation director guy.
You want to stick with that?
I'm going to agree with him.
You're going to agree. Here's who really said it.
The automotive sector is
Yeah,
moving
that's Mayor
toward
Pete.
EVs. And you can't pretend otherwise. Sometimes when these debates happen. I feel like it's the early 2000s, and I'm talking to some people who think that we can just have landline phones forever.
Yes, it was Pete Buttigieg. So Eddie has now gotten
That's official tic-tac-toe.
foolproof tic-tac-toe.
Trisha knows how to make people feel welcome.
Great job. All right, Trisha, where do you want to go?
All right. Almost doesn't matter, does it? I am going to go number 9, bottom right, and Annie.
All right. On a list they're calling the 3 Comma Club, there are 5 new names that have been added to the billionaires list this year. 3 of them are people you've probably never heard of, but 2 are entertainers or in the entertainment industry. 1 is affiliated with both the NBA and the MLB as an owner, and the other just had one of the biggest tours of all time. Annie, tell me who both of them are.
Taylor Swift. And what was read the hint about the other one?
Sure. 1 is affiliated with both the NBA and the MLB as an owner.
Ooh.
Just joined the Billionaires Club.
Michael Jordan.
Michael
Taylor
Jordan
Swift is
and
right.
Taylor Swift.
I know that story. I was going to say Derek Jeter, but I don't feel like he's in the billionaire spot yet. So I'm Michael Jordan. I just wonder if he was already a billionaire, unless he gambled it all away.
Man. Okay.
Jordan and Swift, often talked about in the same sentence.
All right. Those are good guesses. I agree Taylor Swift is correct. I don't know about Michael Jordan.
Neither
but
do I.
I don't trust anything I think. So I'm going to agree.
Eddie, well played again. The square is yours.
Oh,
Eddie, nice job.
It's not Jeter, is it?
It is, do you know?
Is it Jay-Z?
It's Magic Johnson.
Oh.
Yeah.
Magic Johnson.
Dodgers and is it the Jazz?
Lakers, isn't it?
Who
No,
he played-
Clippers.
who he played for?
Yeah.
No.
No, he
Or
played
as
for
an owner?
As an owner, it's the
Put
Clippers,
X's
isn't it?
everywhere. You're good.
I don't actually remember. I just
don't
know
think
that he's an owner.
You can't own 2 different teams in the same city, can you? Anyway,
I just said he was an MLB owner.
I
So.
guess he is. Yeah. That's the Dodgers.
Yeah, that's the Dodgers for sure. Eddie, you're doing really well.
Eddie. Well done, Eddie.
This is.
I'm running out of squares here.
I don't want to call this beginner's luck because it's beyond luck at this point.
Yes.
I've never seen such a dominant start.
It's a bloodbath.
It is. It is a
it's okay,
bloodbath.
actually.
That is the word we use.
Oh man.
Eddie, where you want to go?
I'm going to go with the top left one, and I'm going to go with Leah.
Top left 1 and Leah. Leah, you have found our other audio whoopee.
Amanda says, "Come on, y'all." Trisha's pregnant. Somebody give her a circle.
Help a girl out.
Yeah.
Now you got to earn it. Sorry.
All right. Tough crowd.
I have here, and this is for Leah, we say?
Yes, for Leah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have sound here from the annual White House Easter egg roll on Sunday. I'm going to play the whole thing because it is wonderful.
Thanks, everybody. And by the way, say hello to oyster bunnies. Come on up, bunnies. Get up here so they can see.
Come on up, buddies.
Come on, get in there. Pretty big bunny, huh? All right. Thank you all so very, very much. It's all yours. President Zone.
Okay. The question is not what did he say at the end.
Yeah.
It's all yours, President Zoe.
President Zone.
President Zoe. Go look at these buddies. All yours, President Zoe. The question for you, Leah. The band playing. I love that clip. The question is, how many oyster bunnies were there with him?
Ooh. Oyster bunnies or Easter bunnies being the same?
The same thing.
Okay.
So it's not a 0.
Because I would like to ask Joe Biden that question.
How many oyster/Easter bunnies were with him when he said that?
I'm gonna guess 3. I didn't.
3.
I didn't see the clip.
3 oyster bunnies.
I'm going to have to disagree.
You're going to disagree? You got it right again. This is amazing because that was just a shot in the dark.
2, right?
It was 2.
Oh, man.
It was 2
Close.
oyster bunnies, and they're just kind of covering their eyes. And,
Certain I would have agreed.
I thought it was interesting, the inclusion with the bunnies, because one of them was wearing glasses.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why? He's in charge of hiding things.
That's
He needs
right.
glasses?
That's right. Yeah, one of them was wearing glasses. That was an interesting choice.
Why do the bunnies have the eggs? Anyway, that's a different subject. Next.
Trisha?
All right.
That's an amazing board.
Uh,
There is no possible way for
Eddie,
you to
where
come
do
back.
you want to get your next tic-tac-toe?
Yeah.
I guess number 4, far left for another Eddie. Tic-tac-toe.
Okay.
And Brad.
Brad. All right, Brad, you're actually in this question.
Oh, I am in this?
During Annie, Are You Okay yesterday, Brad, you read a story about an actual killer cutting someone up while wearing a Scream mask. In entertainment news, Scream 7 is currently in production and will star Neve Campbell in her return to the role of Sidney Prescott after not appearing in the last one. Man, Leah would know this.
Yeah. Yes, she would.
Too bad she didn't get this one.
Can you phone a friend?
Of the 7 Scream movies, how many is Neve Campbell in?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I think she's in 4 of them.
4 of them.
This sucks for you, Trisha.
No, I think it's more than that. And I thought she was in the last one. I think she's in at least 6 of them if she wasn't in the last one. So I'm going to disagree with Brad.
Trisha,
Come on.
Trisha.
Trisha got it right.
Finally.
And
Wasn't
you know
she
what?
in the last one?
She was not, right?
No.
She was not in the last one.
because it had to do with money issues. They weren't going to pay her enough.
She
Thank you,
is
Leah.
a big fan of this.
Yeah.
I guess I must be thinking of the one before. I actually go to the movies and see all of these.
Oh, yeah?
too,
Yes.
so,
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she was in, as of this one coming out, which she will be in, all but that one. So she's been in 6 of the 7.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I
so you
forgot
actually did guess that right, though.
Thanks.
Good
Thanks, guys.
job. Man,
Good job,
that
guys.
circle is looking
Having
very,
on the
very
back
nice on
there,
that
looking-
board right there.
Yep.
But it's Eddie's turn.
All
So,
right, go Eddie.
So we'll close it out with 6. We'll go with Annie.
Okay.
okay, Annie, you have stumbled into AI sound.
I'm really excited about it, Ryan.
Glad to hear that. I don't know why that sounded so sarcastic, but this is a real clip from the week. Run through AI. There's something else going on. There's like
Oh.
lots of layers. It's like John Mayer's radio station.
John Mayer's Layers.
Life
Yeah.
with John Mayer.
It's Layers with Mayer. Why did he call it that?
If you were going to go all in.
Come on. All right, this is a real clip from the week.
This is how he finds out I exist. I am toast.
Make this into a reel
No.
somebody and tag
I just
John
marked
Mayer.
it.
No.
Yes.
He's my fave. Never mind. Yes, what?
And you don't think this is your finest work, is what you're saying. So you want him to see him at your best.
Yeah, I do. I don't know what that looks like either. Probably not something he's interested in.
Tell me who said this.
I finally thought it was time to go in a different direction, but I'm not leaving the Senate.
That's it. Who said that? You want to hear it again?
No. Mitch McConnell.
Agree or disagree? Eddie.
I disagree.
Here's who really said that.
I finally thought it was time to go in a different direction.
That was for you, Trisha.
But I'm not leaving the Senate.
Sorry, Eddie.
No, you're not.
No, I'm really not. I'll take anything I can get.
Oh, you're wrong. All right, Annie is off the board.
It's really fun watching Trisha fill in all the squares that don't matter. You're doing a great
And
job.
even there's not enough of them
No,
to even
you
get
can't
it.
even get
If Trisha gets the rest of them, the organizational part
It'll
of me is
be
going to be
really-
very excited.
Yeah.
It's going to look really pretty.
It's going to look like a Kubrick film.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Eddie, back to you. Or no, sorry,
No,
Trisha,
no,
your turn.
Trisha's got it.
Yeah, Trisha got that square, but it wasn't her turn.
Got it.
Okay, number 2. And Annie's off the board now?
Yep.
Okay, back to Leah.
Leah, I know you love sports questions, so this one's for you.
Yay.
The LA Dodgers are now paying just a handful of players, including Freeman, Betts, Yamamoto, Ohtani, Smith,
I
and
wish you would have said
Glasnow.
Ohtani bets, but go on.
Does he?
Those players alone, $1.8 billion, which is more than one entire franchise sold at recently for $1.75 billion. That franchise used to be based in St. Louis. What franchise is it that is valued less than 6 Dodgers players?
You say this is a Major League Baseball franchise?
Mm-hmm.
And you said it's St. Louis based?
Used to be based in St. Louis.
Orioles.
No, I don't know. Probably, but
I don't
no.
either. I don't either.
I mean, that's an amazing guess because that's correct.
Of course it is.
Oh no, the
Great
symmetry.
job, Leah.
Oh, man.
Great job, Eddie.
The St.
Yes.
Louis Browns?
They used to be the St. Louis Browns.
is what I
Yes.
thought.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they don't. It doesn't matter.
Good job.
It doesn't
Another
matter.
X.
Yeah, no.
Eddie's
put
like,
the X up
are
there,
you
Eddie.
sure I should put this X
You're
up here?
fine.
There's just
You're
so
fine.
many
Now
X's
you
up
got to
there.
get
guy.
this bottom one, and then
All right.
everybody's OCD will be fine.
Yeah.
So.
So
Okay.
I've got Brad and Lee to choose from, right?
So
No,
back to
Leah's
you.
off the board.
Leah's
It's
off the
just
board.
me.
So this is
You
Brad.
and
All right,
Brad
Brad,
left.
you're up.
Just Brad. Just number 8.
Number 8.
Just Eddie. For the whole game.
This is it. This is the deciding square.
Brad. At St. Louis's Lambert Airport.
Okay.
There, I just traveled. So
Yes,
you can
I
see
was
where
there.
this is coming from. That's right. You picked me up. Thank you, friend. There are 2 politicians who will greet you with both sight and sound at the airport. One of them is being impeached, and the other is saying convenience store owners need to be more responsible for crime committed near their stores. Who are these 2 politicians?
Oh, man.
Who made me feel so safe when flying?
One is being
And
impeached.
then you landed in St. Louis.
One is being impeached. So you're traveling. So being impeached, that would be Mayorkas.
Okay.
And then the other one is St. Louis Mayor Tashara Jones, because she's saying she's going to hold people responsible, and it's the store owners, and
Okay.
not the criminals.
Okay. Eddie, agree or disagree?
He's very convincing. I agree.
You are correct.
Wow.
You are correct.
Tic-tac-toe. A winner. A winner.
Eddie, right down to the wire, but you have pulled it off.
So close.
It was
Yeah.
very, very close.
There's a lot of synergy in the way this board is it's like an I for Illinois. ILL
is.
people.
I love it.
All right.
Me too. That
Eddie
was
and
fun.
Trisha,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
you
she's
guys.
just into art. That's why she did that.
Yeah, she did. It was for the show. It was for art. This is like a Hunter Biden painting up here right now.
Take that thing off the wall.
Put it in
Sell it for
Mar-a-Lago.
$1 million.
How much
All
is
right.
this studio worth now?
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be back with more Eddie Fry Show right after this.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow. Baseball is back, basketball is heating up, and the NFL Draft is right around the corner. Listen to the latest on the teams you love with the free Odyssey app. The biggest sports radio stations in the country, providing unrivaled local coverage of their teams, all in one place. Exclusive interviews with players, coaches, and team executives, streaming live and always available on demand. Stay in the know with your favorite teams with Odyssey. AUDACY. Download the free Odyssey app today.
Urgent Camp Lejeune settlement message. The government will soon begin providing fast, guaranteed settlements to Camp Lejeune Marines, families, and civilians. Awards will range between $100,000 and $550,000 with an option for higher amounts. If you or a loved one spent time at Camp Lejeune and suffered cancers of the bladder, liver or kidneys, leukemia, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, Parkinson's, or kidney issues, you may be entitled to a significant financial reward for your Camp Lejeune claim and could be paid within 60 days after accepting your settlement with your VA benefits fully protected. But the deadline for filing is fast approaching, so you need to act now. Call the James Harris Law Camp Lejeune helpline now to get the compensation you deserve. We're already fighting for thousands harmed by the water at Camp Lejeune, and with the deadline coming, you need to call now or you may forever lose your right to a settlement between $100,000 and $550,000. For your free evaluation, call 800-885-2277, 800-885-2277, 800-885-2277.
WindowWorld.com. Are you shopping for replacement windows for your home? It's time to check out what Window World has to offer you, which includes a lifetime warranty. I think anytime you're making an investment in your home, you know that you want to invest in longevity. You don't want just the cheapest thing that's out there because you're going to get the cheapest thing that's out there. Window World gives you simply the best windows for less. And that's why you reach out to them. It's 314-993-1800. That's 314-993-1800. When you partner with Window World to replace the windows in your home, you are going to get a quality window. They are durable. They stand behind their window. They'll stand on their windows to show you how durable they in fact actually are. They use a double strength glass, traditionally not used in replacement windows. You're going to get that quality, that commitment from Window World when you choose them for your replacement windows. They are #1 in windows sold in the country by Qualified Remodeler magazine. You can trust Window World. They do offer you those windows that are simply the best for less, and they're just a phone call away. 314-993-1800. That's 314-993-1800 for your windows. Find them online at windowworld.com.
From gas to groceries, Missourians are feeling it. Higher prices are making it tough to pay your bills. So why are some in Washington pushing a costly new mandate that'll make things harder for Missouri consumers? It'll mean the credit card rewards you enjoy will go away. That's right. Earning cash back, points, or miles, all could vanish. Washington bureaucrats and Senator Hawley think they know better. Consumers and Main Street will lose big. That's why we need Senator Hawley to step up and help stop this harmful new mandate. Please call Senator Hawley at 202-224-6154. Urge Senator Hawley to stand with consumers. Paid for by American Bankers Association, ABA.com. Sponsored by Missouri Bankers Association.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, health care, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gsl.honorflight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
When the radio is away, 97.1 can still play. If you have the Odyssey app, of course. Listen to any of your favorite hosts on 97.1 through your phone. On St. Louis's home for conservative talk. This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Just wrapped up X's and O's. Eddie just dominated in his first showing here. Somewhat tough questions, but doable. Good to have Trisha and Eddie in here to walk us through that game. And we always appreciate when you join us on the Annie Fry YouTube channel and play along with us. Our YouTube live chat poll for today is, are you a nerd about something? I want to continue to ask you to come vote on the Annie Fry YouTube channel and tell us what you think. Erica says, I'm a nerd about a lot of things. Religion, though not the one most of you are thinking of. Star Trek and cats, to name a few.
Cats Broadway or cats
It wasn't
cats?
capitalized.
Okay. So just regular old felines.
Or maybe. Russell said, no, I don't think I'm a nerd about anything. I do have many interests in things, but I don't think the definition of nerd fits those. You kind of have to have a hobby about your nerdery, don't you?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Like maybe you're willing to, if you've got some extra income, it might find its way towards facilitating that
Yeah.
or extra time. That's high on the list of where your extra goes to.
I just remembered one that I forgot about because I don't know. It's just like such a personal thing that I do. I keep track of every Last Man on Earth movie or TV show.
What do you mean you keep track of it?
So I will watch and seek out movies that have the theme of Last Man on Earth or person walking through an empty city or anything like that. And then I keep track of them in this giant list that I've been keeping for over 10 years. Cool, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow.
Hey, you said nerd.
Yeah.
And that's pretty nerdy.
Yeah.
But it's very fun. I love that genre, and it's such a subgenre of like
What's on
post-apocalyptic.
this list? I'm just interested to know what your skill set and the implementation of your skill set, what you're willing to involve, the effort you're willing to involve in it, just for, like future reference.
Oh man, what's on this list? Well, things like I Am Legend would be on this list.
No, like, do you just have a list of the title? Do you have details?
Yeah, I do. Okay, so the way that I keep it is that I will write down the title of the movie, and then I'll rank it based on how good the movie is in general, 1 to 5, 5 being the highest, and then how good the Last Man on Earth theme is in the movie, 1 to 5, and also TV episodes too. So there's 2 lists.
Guess how many entries are on this list?
Between both of them, I'll say 400.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a real hobby, Annie. So much so that I'm getting to the point where it's hard to find those things because I've exhausted the list so much.
Pond says, I'm a bit of a nerd about family history, 22 generations back to the year 1031.
That's impressive.
That is cool.
That is cool.
Anybody in your families do genealogy and ancestry?
We have an aunt on my wife's side who does a lot of it, which means that they have a lot on her side of the family, but not as much on mine.
I did it as an assignment one time, and I got back to where the documents started being in German, and then I stopped because I can't speak or read German.
Yeah. My mom loves Ancestry.com, and she has dug into so much of it, and I'm grateful that she's done it. So for me, she's covering both sides of where I come from. So I've talked before about my paternal grandmother is from Australia. My paternal grandfather is from here, and then my maternal grandparents are from here, and she's traced back on all of those accounts. The genealogy is, and she's always like, oh, there's a new leaf and this new piece of information, and finding out, how people died and stuff like that, and kind of knowing some sort of medical history is beneficial too if you realize, oh, I had an ancestor who had this condition or that condition, whatever. So I'm really grateful for that. Now, my husband, I don't know that anyone is doing it directly with his family. I know that there are people in those families that do it, but I don't know, like, specific. My husband doesn't have the information on his side that I would have if I sat down and went through what my mom found out. So if someday when I want to marry the two things from my kids, we'll have to dive into pairing together whatever his little further removed family has done so far and bring it in. But I think that is a really cool thing to nerd out on.
It is cool. Do you know much about like your genealogy as far as nations go? Because I think I'm mostly German and maybe English, but that's as far as I know.
German. I'm like 12.5% Irish. Right, Mom and Dad? My grandmother is from Australia, but that doesn't necessarily mean, I don't believe she was Aboriginal. So
Right.
the
Would have gone back further than that.
Yeah. My mom's mom, gosh, I want to say it's Slovakian, but then my mom's would be like, no, that's not it.
Oh, it was Latvian.
It's something like that, like an Eastern European, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Mom, sorry. But there's a lot of German.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, us too.
Yeah. You?
Yeah, mine, like Ryan, mine's mainly German, but there is French as well as Irish. And then there's also Native American. I actually have seen a picture of I think it's 3 greats grandma, who was the Native American in our family.
Oh.
And so she's dressed in basically Western garb.
Really?
But definitely a Native American woman. And yeah, that's mainly what it is.
You know, one of the weirdest things about digging into my wife's ancestry that she found out was that she is a distant relative of Troy Aikman. So anytime Troy Aikman is on TV, I'm always like, "Oh, Katie, look, there's your cousin," and it is so far removed that there is no way she could ever contact him. But it's still kind of cool.
Our friend Vicky says, yes, genealogy, rock music, and the royal family, and she puts in parentheses guilty pleasure. That's something you can nerd out on. It's like there's not really a practical purpose for it. For whatever interest, for whatever reason, it tickles your fancy, and there's a news story about it, and you want to read the news story about it. Doug says, I'm a nerd with useless car knowledge. I mean, maybe the history of the car would be, I guess, potentially qualified as useless, but I think if you know cars, that is never going to be useless. Edward, our friend, says, I'm a liberal with a political science degree who frequently listens to conservative talk radio, so I think I'm a nerd for politics. Edward, we appreciate you. Thank you for letting us participate in your nerdery. Amber says, I am a nerd about hummingbirds.
I thought we might see somebody who was a bird lover on here.
A bird nerd.
Yeah.
Bird is the word.
It's a thing. It is a thing. I know somebody who's the same way.
Mike says, I am completely a history nerd. Anything about American or world history is in my wheelhouse. I study a lot of biblical history and secular history and how it aligns. It is amazing. I wish that it's like I want to make myself nerd out on that. I want to, you guys called me out on it before, Brad specifically, but like if I were a nerd about anything, like Disney World is definitely my realm. I know y'all don't all love it, but that's okay because it's not your life. So
I do love the parks though.
But if there's news and developments, there was a big meeting yesterday, and there was a board that Nelson Peltz was trying to kind of do a hostile takeover of the board. Didn't end up succeeding, but did end up in the process really curbing the future focus of Disney. And Bob Iger came out, who's the CEO, and was like, we are not a company that's going to be out here to push agendas. We need to entertain. We need to stay in our lane. And it's like all of these things for me, when it comes to Anheuser-Busch, when it comes to Disney, when it comes to Boeing, when it comes to a lot of these different huge companies that sometimes waver from where I want to see them be politically, personally, if culturally, societally, I don't love what they're doing, I want to influence them to do differently. I don't want to see these huge companies fail. I want them to get their head on straight and do what they do great. I don't know that that's what is going to happen here. And I think there's a lot of stuff that still needs, like, I still need to see the proof in the pudding here. But I was talking about with Steve Moore like a month ago about the SEC filing for a risk assessment with Disney. And they have listed in their risk assessment that they are putting in there that the company cannot assume that their alignment on social and cultural issues is going to match the alignment on where society is and where consumers are. And that is being paired with Bob Iger's statements at the big quarterly meeting that they had yesterday, saying that they're out of that business. And that really has been persuaded by people like Nelson Peltz with Treon, which is the entity that he runs with, that has influenced them to say, knock it the heck off. You have failed on so many fronts because you've taken this company in a direction that is not what serves the people who are your consumers. Stop it. And they're saying that they have recalibrated their focus and that they're on their track is to get back into the business of entertaining and not in the business of agenda driving. Prove it. We'll wait and see.
There's Disney news that we talk about because you and I and Brad, we like going to the parks. Then there's that kind of Disney news that is cultural shift stuff. That is actually a pretty big deal.
It's a huge deal. I don't talk about it because just by virtue of me talking about it right now, I'm going to get assaulted all weekend by people who want to tell me I'm trash.
No, that's news though.
Yeah.
And that's important stuff because even if the conservative guy, Nelson Peltz, didn't necessarily like take over the board, what you were just saying is a big shift for that company.
It is.
And if they follow through with it, then that's very, very important stuff to be following.
I also think, just as a side note to that we live in a country where we get to use our voices and our dollars to influence. And sometimes your dollars are big enough to influence. Sometimes your voice is big enough to influence. But I don't, and I am consistent on this, I'm not a boycotter. I'm also not going to tell you how to spend or not spend your money or to use your voice or not use your voice. But I am in the business of pressure to change with whatever assets that I have at any given time. And a lot of people listen to the show because they trust my assessment on whatever it is we're looking at that day. They don't trust me on my assessment. They think I'm wrong here. You have the right to think I'm wrong. And I just think that when it comes to this topic specifically, that I am very nerdy and well-studied about the company. And I don't really talk about that as much on the show because I'm doing it right now. I'm inviting so much criticism, and that's part of the job. So I'm not really complaining about it. I try to measure that, but I can show you in actual filing documents where the pressure on this company, this massive, massive company, has caused it to change. And some of that has happened because people have stopped spending money. Some of that has happened because there has been an outcry. Nelson Peltz, who was trying to get himself on this board, literally just said, I don't know why we have to have a Marvel movie that's full of all women. I don't know why Black Panther has to be all black people. Like, he says these things out loud. These are wild statements to the people who are entrenched in the old way that Disney was doing things. But these things are out there being said. You can agree with them. You can disagree with them. But the influence on Disney getting back to the business of making good movies and entertaining people, that's their focus right now. That's what they say. They will have to prove it to people to earn their support back. We got a break.
Good
Did
time
you want to
for
say
it.
something else?
I'm just keep thinking about Last Person on Earth. I hope Disney starts making more Last Person on Earth movies.
What about, what's the one with the little robot?
Oh,
WALL-E.
WALL-E? Technically, yes, although I don't include animated movies on my list. But it is on there as kind of a...
I just think you didn't know it.
No,
I
no.
think you didn't think of it, and I
Oh,
just
no,
did.
no,
And
it's
now you're
definitely
gonna have
on there.
You're going to have to put it on your list, and you're going to have to, next to it, dang it, Annie came up with
When
this
we
one.
come back, I'll read the review of WALL-E just to prove you wrong.
I hate that movie. We're not going to talk about WALL-E. We'll be back with the poll results in a minute.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Fry Show.
Sean and Kristen are awesome. Rapid Rental Renovations is what they do. Murphy Cleanout Services is the name of the company. Now, when you hear murphycleanoutservices.com, that's their website, you might think, well, what they do is they come and they clean out your house, they get the junk out and all that. Yes, they do that. But if you have rental properties like I do, you're going to find yourself in situations, and if you have rental properties, I'm not even going to tell you all of the situations because you know what they are. Somebody moves out, you got to clean the house up, you got to replace the carpet, whatever it is, or you're getting a full rehab. Here's what's cool. Sean and Kristen will do all of that. No matter if it's just a little bit or if it is a big rehab project, they can do it. And what's cool is that they focus on rentals. So yeah, you can do the nice stone masonry in your house, but they know you're not going to do that at your rental house. So they're going to work with your budget and your time, and you're going to save money and time by working with them. Rapid Rental Renovations, no matter what you need done to your rental, they will come in, do it fast, do it for budget, and get it back on the market so you can make money. Visit them at murphycleanoutservices.com.
Experience the beauty of custom-crafted windows that enhance your home's aesthetics and energy efficiency. Look no further than Infinity from Marvin, proudly brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. Why choose Infinity? These windows are not just strong, they're 8 times stronger than vinyl, providing unmatched security for your home. Plus, with Lakeside's expert installation, you're guaranteed precision and perfection. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today. Elevate your home with Infinity from Marvin, where strength meets style.
Urgent Camp Lejeune settlement message. The government will soon begin providing fast, guaranteed settlements to Camp Lejeune Marines, families, and civilians. Awards will range between $100,000 and $550,000 with an option for higher amounts. If you or a loved one spent time at Camp Lejeune and suffered cancers of the bladder, liver or kidneys, leukemia, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, Parkinson's, or kidney issues, you may be entitled to a significant financial reward for your Camp Lejeune claim and could be paid within 60 days after accepting your settlement with your VA benefits fully protected. But the deadline for filing is fast approaching, so you need to act now. Call the James Harris Law Camp Lejeune helpline now to get the compensation you deserve. We're already fighting for thousands harmed by the water at Camp Lejeune, and with the deadline coming, you need to call now or you may forever lose your right to a settlement between $100,000 and $550,000. For your free evaluation, call 800-885-2277, 800-885-2277, 800-885-2277.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
Today's YouTube live chat poll, are you a nerd about something? Yes or no? We want to know, what do you nerd out about? Of course you're a nerd about something. Jump on Annie's YouTube page, vote in the poll, and then tell us what it is that you are a nerd about. The time is 2:51. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. Why is the Justice Department targeting St. Louis for its new violent crime initiative? We're going to talk about it with Jane Duker coming up.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
I wish Fox News was on right now so we could see if they're still talking about the earthquake.
Oh, they are. They were just a second ago.
Were they?
Oh, yeah.
Listen, I don't blame them because this is basically local news. If you're in New York and you turn on the news, if something's happening in New York, it's national news.
Yes.
But it's also your local news.
Yes.
But
How'd the Mets do today?
We've been laughing all day because they're like interviewing people in Times Square and they're like, no, I've never felt an earthquake like this in New York before. Just got here yesterday. And it's just a bunch of tourists. It got like the Gorilla Man in the background who's like trying to get into the Fox News shot.
Yeah. Let me go interview Iron Man.
Yeah.
Plus, it's just riveting TV to hear somebody talk about an earthquake when they go, yeah, like everything was shaking.
It's a huge deal. It's a huge story. I repeat, if that happened here, it would be a day that I'd probably remember for the rest of my life.
Yeah, we still remember the last one.
I remember the one in 2010 or whenever you said that was. I told the story about my mom woke up. It was the one that happened in the middle of the night. My mom was like in a half-awake stupor and thought that there were raccoons in the room stomping on the ground, causing a ruckus.
All in unison.
Yeah. My parents are the Beverly Hillbillies. But you remember that. It's a big deal. It's a life moment. But the rest of the country has to deal with it all day.
Yeah, it's just because it's New York. I think that's what's annoying. Is that, yeah, it is. If you're in New York, this is what everybody's talking about today.
We're back to the border, though, for a minute.
Well, thank you, Fox.
Fox crew spots men trying to cross the New Mexico border. Breaking news.
Gosh, amazing. They're shooting it through a hole in the wall. Oh, man.
So, yeah. I mean, big earthquake, 4.8 was the last measure. They were like, ooh, went down to a 4.7. No, back up to a 4.8. And then they're talking about, shook some trees out of the backyard, and I felt it in the house, and the plates were rattling. And then they have 52 more people say the same thing.
You know what scared the death out of me is when I was in the air, I had very little Wi-Fi. And so I got one text the whole time on my flight to Japan. It was from Brad Range saying, hey, there was just a pretty big earthquake in Japan. Mm-hmm. And then I couldn't check anything. I had no Wi-Fi. That was it. That was it. That's all. And I'm like, what's going on? I'm trying to contact my friend. Are you alive? You know? And then finally I get a hold of him. He's like,
what?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it
Okay.
happens.
Yeah.
If I had experienced it, I completely and totally don't judge them for the reaction.
Right.
I'm also just not going to watch it today.
It's the Yankees thing. We have to cover it because it's New York.
Yeah, for sure. The YouTube live chat poll for today: are you a nerd about something? I said if I was going to say I was a nerd about anything, I would say I was a nerd about Disney. And I used to be that about the Cardinals. I worked in sports talk radio for a little bit. That made it a job. That's why I got out of it. You are a nerd about the number one thing.
Twilight Zone.
Twilight Zone. Brad?
Customizing cars.
Customizing cars. At least his is useful.
Yeah. Mine makes you
think
think deep philosophical questions.
Please tell that to my wife.
No.
This is useful.
No, I'm not telling Terry that. We asked you that question on the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll, which we have each and every day. Go subscribe to the Annie Fry YouTube channel and keep track of us wherever we go. And 70% of you said, yes, you are a nerd about something. We went through a lot of those comments, and a lot of them are pretty good things to be nerdy about. Thanks for being with us today. For more breaking news coverage on the earthquake, maybe Mark Reardon up next.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
We've been here 30 years, 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right nice soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
Mark Cox here. Do you need to sell your home, but you need time to find your next home or to build that new construction home you've only been dreaming about? Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, St. Louis real estate expert, has a program for you. Gloria understands that those two issues keep would-be home sellers from moving into their dream home. So Gloria's developed her Sell and Stay program that allows you to sell, get your cash, and stay in the home for up to 12 months. Gloria's Sell and Stay program takes the pressure off. It gives you time to find your next home. Plus, now that you have the cash from your current home, it gives you leverage when negotiating your next home.